5 years old. Let's see if we can get an answer to the super question this morning. How many chromosomes does the average human have in each cell? That is the question. We will go to Dave and see if we can get the answer this morning. Dave, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
All right, Dave. How many chromosomes does the average human have in each cell?
46.
46. Yep. Hang on, buddy.
Yay for chromosomes.
I'm going to give you a pair of tickets to see Sarah Silverman. Thursday, May 4th, the Met in Philly, and you can get tickets via Ticketmaster. Complete details are also available at WMMR.com.
Preston, a bakery, we should open up chromoscones.
Chromosomes?
Yeah, near some sort of hospital.
46 different flavors.
Yeah, boom!
How about that?
And everything's like chrome themed.
Yes.
I like that, too.
Kathy, get on that if you would.
All right, please. So I was not aware of this. In an exclusive interview with People magazine published on Wednesday, Kevin Smith has opened up about the complete break from reality he experienced last year. The Clerks director spent a month at Arizona's Sierra Tucson Treatment Center, where he received therapy centered on traumatic incidents from his childhood.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, right? He explained that he previously coped with these experiences by hiding behind, quote, a larger-than-life public persona. He said it was scary. At that moment, I wouldn't have been averse to not being around any longer. I called a friend and said, I'm in a weird, dark place, and I need to go somewhere and get help.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Because he was on the other side of a heart attack. He was healthy. Career's zipping along. Everything's going well. And that's when this hits him.
Yeah, something.
None of us had, obviously we have a friendship with Kevin Smith on a, it's not like we pal around at his house, but on a professional level.
These things
never heard of this.
Started to surface in his mind and send him to a like he said, a dark place.
Man.
And he recalled a traumatic incident that occurred when he was 6 years old. During which an older boy that he didn't know forced him to engage sexually with a 6-year-old girl. He said, luckily, some adult did walk past the alley and was like, what's going on? He said, I've told the story in my life to other people, but always presented it as, oh, I played doctor when I was a kid. And he said, adding that his therapist at the Arizona Treatment Center identified the incident as sexual abuse. She goes, doctor is, I'll show you mine, you show me yours. There's a third party instructing you what to do, and it's against your will. That's sexual abuse. So there are some things that have been digging at him that maybe he couldn't quite identify. And once he got in there, it happened to a friend of mine who nothing sexual like that, but he was having some issues, and he went to therapy, and something surfaced from an encounter with him and his dad that he didn't remember until he got into therapy and started talking about these childhood things. And the root of his anxiety went back to this little moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it seemed kind of innocuous to him. But in the past, as he started to examine, he was like, you know what? That really did affect me more than I thought it did.
Stuff
crazy.
that happens when you're a kid and you don't know how to process it. And then layers of life get added on top of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I'm glad he got to the bottom of it.
And that's why therapy, if something's digging at you and you have the opportunity to get and speak to a professional, it can, it can take you to places where you may never have considered that really might be able to help you out, airing out some of this dirty laundry or whatever it may be that's bugging you. So apparently it helped out Kevin quite a bit. So we're happy for him in that regard. All right, so on to another trouble issue. Bam Margera, his brother Jess, took to Twitter on Wednesday to share more details about the recent domestic dispute. And this comes after the police announced on Monday that they are still looking for him after he punched Jess in the face and threatened family members as well. And responding to a fan, Jesse wrote, I'm trying to stay positive. Bam really is the sweetest guy when he isn't messed up. And he says, but since his meth habit.
Yeah, the meth is apparently the new drug of choice for him, Preston.
He said he's
That's so
unrecognizable, and I really don't know what he's capable of. Seeing him screaming at a person that wasn't there, hallucinating, it's really scary and heartbreaking, he said.
Wow.
He's got to be incarcerated, Lloyd. He's got to be separated from that.
He's got to. It's really interesting to have these stories back to back because clearly Kevin Smith recognized the problem and wanted to seek change, and Bam does not seem to want to seek change at all. And Steve, I don't disagree with you. I don't know what can help him at this point other than himself needing to recognize that he needs to seek help.
I know what you're saying, because the thing you would think is he's got to get with the right people who can treat him. And so he's walked out of every top level treatment thing in the world. And I agree 1,000%, but I always harken back to David Crosby, and he went through all the top elite treatment centers and the spa treatment centers and all that stuff. And what actually reversed his life, turned it around, was detention in a Texas prison. And that's what did it. And he had always said it when he was alive, obviously. Less so now that he's dead.
Jess added in a separate tweet that Bam is with his girlfriend and her 8-year-old child. He said his girlfriend has her phone. I'm obviously very worried about Bam, but I'm extremely worried about that. There is an 8-year-old child with him.
Wait.
Oh, boy.
I know. This is the first I've heard.
It's the girlfriend's kid, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but this is the first I've heard that somebody knows where he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's married, so his girlfriend, his kid is with his wife.
In L.A., right?
His own kid.
Yeah.
And then he is on the...
His girlfriend has an 8-year-old
Right,
kid.
yeah.
He says, I can't even imagine the environment in that car right now. I hope she's okay. She's the sweetest kid. She doesn't deserve this unnecessary trauma. So,
That sounds like the woman is a user as well, and they're worried about the kid being in there with them.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
terrible.
Yep. All right, something lighter.
Please.
Joshua Jackson is turning up the heat in his new series, Fatal Attraction. In a recent interview with Variety, the Dawson's Creek star shared that his wife, Jodie Turner-Smith, thinks of his steamy sex scenes. He said, Jodie is not fussed about my sex scenes. The sex scenes themselves, Jodie kind of enjoys them, actually. And he said, laughing is a weird thing where she's like a voyeur. So that works. If that's your thing, excellent.
So this is a series?
Yeah.
Based on the movie, obviously.
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Was it on HBO Max or something? One of those.
So last year, the Queen and Slim actress told Vanity Fair, I can't wait to see my husband effing on screen again.
Oh, my God.
She said, did you watch The Affair? I'm like, let's go. He's sexy. So she's into that. Vagina. There you go.
Have you seen it's floating around? This guy has made it his mission to replace every actor in every sort of great pop culture movie with a deep fake of Arnold delivering the same dialogue.
No.
And in Basic Instinct, the Sharon Stone leg crossing scene. It's hilarious.
I need to see that. Machine Gun Kelly. 33rd birthday party over the weekend ended with a police helicopter and a bullhorn. It wasn't clear how the authorities got involved, but the party did consist of a lot of fire. In a video posted by him, he's seen shooting flames 6 feet into the air out of what looks like a long gun. And at the same time, you can hear the police over a speaker say, the party's over. You guys need to leave.
Go home. The party is over.
Yeah,
Call your mothers and have them pick you up.
Yeah, so apparently he had some kind of thing that was shooting fire.
It's like DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would love to. Wouldn't you love to shoot a flamethrower?
Well, Elon Musk was selling them for a while.
I know.
And I was like, do I get one?
No.
And no, you couldn't. They sold out immediately.
No, and you'd go out and shoot it a couple times, and there you go.
That's it.
I mean, that's something you borrow from someone.
Not unless you use it to mow your lawn.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's see. Speaking of Sharon Stone, Steve, she is the latest actress to voice her opinion on Kim Kardashian joining the cast of American Horror Story.
Beaver.
The actress commented on a recent Instagram post by Access Hollywood detailing Patti LuPone's objections to the Kardashian star joining the franchise. And she wrote, this pretty interesting comment. She wrote, well, acting. It may not be brain surgery, but we do treasure our art. We studied, we suffered, we do suffer for it. 10,000 hours, it's a thing. So essentially she's saying, Kim doesn't deserve to be
She doesn't.
this.
But talk about stunt casting, and that's what they're doing.
But she was referencing Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, the story of success, in which he writes that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert in something.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Kimmy. Glenn Powell and Gigi Paris, we had mentioned this yesterday, have been dating since 2020, but Page Six reports that their relationships may be over. Paris shared a video of herself smiling and then turning around.
Nothing is over! It's over!
And walking away to Instagram.
It's running over!
On Wednesday. And she wrote, know your worth, and on to the next.
I saw him with her, Sydney Sweeney, on the beach. There's no way he's coming back from that.
She also
It's over.
She also unfollowed the Top Gun Maverick star, according
That
to
was a
them.
sequel to Top Gun.
Yes, it was. Did you like it?
I liked it because he never gave up. He flew to the sky like a bird. He said, I don't care if I'm old, I can still fly. It's in risky business. Yeah, make fun of me. Where are you? I still can fly this thing. I'll blow up your goddamn house. Back to
Rambo.
the entertainment report.
Rambo movie reviews.
I didn't like it. And after that, the theater ran out of snow caps.
Oh, so the whole theater
It all
experience.
sucked. He takes the whole experience.
How would he rate his movies? You remember Siskel and Ebert had thumbs up, thumbs down. Rambo would have to, there'd be some explosion involved or something along those lines, or different levels of.
I give it 6 mortar shells. No, the arrows with the bombs on them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
6 explosive tipped arrows.
So this comes just days after fans started speculating about a romance between Powell and Sydney Sweeney, as Rambo had mentioned, by the way.
It's happening. If you look at them and you look at the body language, are you good at reading body language?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
Something
like
going
more.
on.
It does.
Yeah. So.
And I don't see why it wouldn't. They're both attractive and they're working together. They clearly have chemistry.
All right.
It's like you and Kathy.
Please. I have some Bachelor news. On Tuesday's episode of her Unlocked podcast, Savannah Christley told former Bachelor Colton Underwood that she knew he was gay when the pair went to the AMC Awards together in 2017. She said, when we met the first time, I knew you were gay. Like, I knew it.
I know it.
And
And then we went out to that restaurant and you ordered penises.
The reality stars had no connection whatsoever, she said.
I know it.
Which Underwood said was for obvious reasons. And he added, when I say it's not you, it's me, I truly meant that. And obviously, I've proven that at this point. Chrisley recalled, I remember looking at my friend Emily, and I was like, he's totally gay. And she was like, no, he's not, Savannah.
She's exactly that, by the way. She was the one who was
not.
kicked off the flight for just recently.
Oh, that was her?
That was her. Yeah, she's one of the Chrisleys.
Yeah.
I've seen him interviewed, and I like him. He seems like a regular dude.
I want to play a clip. Did anybody, Marissa, did you send over the Keanu Reeves
Yeah, we got
clip? Okay, so Keanu is doing a signing thing in this, I don't know what kind of shop he was in, but this 9-year-old kid comes up and tells him what a fan he is, and Keanu just runs with it.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it's really sweet. So here's that exchange between those two.
I'm such a big fan.
What's your name?
Noah. My name is Noah.
Hi, Noah. I'm Keanu.
You're probably my favorite actor in the whole world.
Oh, my gosh,
You're the
Noah.
best.
Thank you. Did you see Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4?
Yeah, he's my favorite character.
Canada's greatest stuntman. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I really liked playing Duke Kaboom.
He throws his fist up in the air. Canada's greatest stuntman. And it kind of plays
so
the
great.
part.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you would see if it was someone you knew from, a movie or a television show? I remember when I saw the original Batmobile at a car show and I was like 11. And you can't believe it. It's a monumental moment in your life.
I remember seeing Doc Gooden at a baseball card signing one time, and
No, it's impactful for sure. That kid's going to carry that memory the rest of his life.
Keanu is just he's the man, and in public and the way he treats people, very nice.
He's a very likable guy. Yep. So let's see some casting news. Bob Odenkirk has joined season 2 of FX's hit dramedy series, The Bear.
The Bear.
Oh.
Yeah. Character details for Odenkirk are being kept under wraps, but the actor is said to be boarding the show as in a guest role.
I love that show.
It's great.
That show was terrific, and it had. So to me, it's similar to Ted Lasso with less. You have much more flawed characters.
Yeah, it's and less
right.
comedy, but more.
But it hits. It resonates.
Nick nudged me into watching it. He said that it captures the absolute anxiety and just the chaos of working in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So much. So,
and you know, like rush hour or at the lunch rush and stuff like that.
And you did. My
I've done
wife
it, yeah.
worked as a waitress in a very active restaurant, a family restaurant where people were coming in all the time. She says they nail it.
And the scene where Joel McHale berates Jeremy Allen White at the fancy restaurant, it's really great acting.
Oh my God,
what a dick!
Yeah,
completely. And he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Remember, we asked Irvine last time he was here. I said, you know, sometimes you see these scenes in movies or shows that really push it a bit, where the head chef is just an absolute bastard, and I mean mean to people. I said it doesn't really happen, does it? He's like, oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, there's a lot of egos in a kitchen.
There's less of it now, but he said it absolutely is part of that culture.
You know who supposedly had that sort of vibe going on was George Perrier.
Yeah, well, George was a perfectionist.
Right, yeah.
I think he softened over the years,
yes.
but he was one of those guys where it was really difficult to work for him, but you did it because of the prestige.
Yes, and that's what happens with this.
Yeah, I think it happens more than we think. I had mentioned something when we had a chef on, and when we went off the air, he was like, is this who you were talking about? And so he knew exactly. It was a local chef who had like a pretty bad experience in the kitchen.
Wow.
So ironically, I was just talking about this last night. We, you guys know I do a food podcast. We hosted an event at Manna, and we had Nick Elmy on the stage doing the podcast live, and he mentioned that like his generation is the crossover. Like he worked for the George Perrier. He worked for the chefs where they were like throwing hot pans at their chefs if they messed up.
Oh my God.
And now, if you raise your voice in the kitchen, that's like unacceptable.
Well, Marissa, I think of him when I watch The Bear.
And
I clearly
me too.
think of him. So yeah, Nick Elmy. And I said to my wife, "Isn't that Nick Elmy? It's got it's got to be."
That was like the generation before, and now it's just that chill. Like we're all friends, we're all equals.
Yeah, this can work if we all work together.
Well, in the series, he tells everyone, he gives them all. She
calls them chef.
Yes,
Yep.
everybody. Yeah.
He gives them the moniker.
It's a
cool.
fascinating. If you haven't seen the series, check it out. It's really well worth it.
It's on Hulu, and it will premiere the second season in June, and stars Jeremy Allen White as Carmi Berzatto, an elite chef who returns home to his family's Chicago sandwich shop, and his older brother dies of suicide. So, by the way, that became FX's most watched half-hour series and took home trophies for Screen Actors, Writers, and Producers Guild Awards. And White won a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a TV series for that. And season 1 is still available. If you want to check it out, it's definitely it's a good watch.
Yeah, and I will say, don't watch the last episode first.
That's what Kathy did.
There is literally like a massive reveal.
Yeah,
And the entire season is sort of they spread through the entire, which mind you, it's not 200 episodes, but still it is a prominent question throughout most of the episodes.
And mind you, when I'm watching the whole thing, I'm like, okay, this part's going to be explained later. This will be explained later. All right, I have to remember this because this has got to mean something. And then when it got to the end, to that reveal, I knew immediately. I was like, you watched the last episode. And I went in, looked, and I was like, mother.
All right, a couple other quick things. There was a trailer for a short film called Strange Way of Life that debuted yesterday. And it features Pedro Pascal and Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
And and it's a gay cowboy story.
I heard it's a short.
It is. It's a short film. So the film explores the relationship between Jake, who's played by Ethan Hawke, and Silva, who's played by Pedro Pascal, two cowboys with a romantic history. The official synopsis reads, a man rides a horse across the desert that separates him from Bitter Creek. He comes to visit Sheriff Jake 25 years earlier. Both the sheriff and Silva, the rancher who rides out to meet him, work together as hired gunmen. Silva visits him with the excuse of reuniting with his friend from his youth, and they do indeed celebrate their meeting. But this next morning, Sheriff Jake tells him that the reason for his trip is not to go down memory lane of their old relationship. It's going to premiere at Cannes Cannes. It's Cannes, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
in May.
at Scott Kahn's house.
No, but it'll reveal at Cannes in May.
So, who's the director? Does it say?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, you know him, Steve.
It is Pedro Almodovar.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the Revenant.
Okay, he did the Revenant?
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why the cinematography looks so crisp in this. So look forward to that coming out in May. Let's see. Also, Red Table Talk is canceled.
Yeah! I never watched it.
Along with the rest of Facebook Watch's original programming. According to TV Line, the show's...
It's being replaced by Orange Ottoman.
Production company Westbrook Studios, funded by Jada Pinkett Smith, and Will Smith is reportedly looking for a new distributor for the series. So
it's coming back.
It's ending there.
My guess is that they're going to take it off that and put it on a streaming service or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, I think we can move over to the clips now.
Okay.
Let's go. Jury Duty is a new show taking a normal person and putting them in a staged scenario. And here, actor James Marsden discusses the concept of the show. Here we go.
I was approached by the creators of The Office, who I'm a huge fan of that show, and my friend David Burnett, who produces White Lotus, and we've done a couple of things before. It said, we have this interesting concept for a show, which is 8 episodes of a cast of characters going to jury duty. But it's all fake. And then one guy who does not know the whole thing is fake.
So I spoke to a friend of mine who's watching this show, and they have one guy who is an average, who's not an actor. Everybody else are actors. It's kind of a reality type of show. They're kind of pulling one over on this guy. James Marsden is in it, and he's playing himself. He's just been called for jury duty. And so here's a celebrity. You get called into jury duty, and you happen to have a celebrity in jury duty, and he's trying to get out of jury duty because he's a celebrity. And I've heard, they said it's great, said it's hilarious.
So it kind of reminds me of the Ralph Garman series where they, everyone, it was like going to dating, supposedly a reality dating show. Everyone was an actual paid actor except for one person.
Yeah.
And so it was an elaborate practical joke. This sounds like that.
Yep, it's similar in that vein. So Jury Duty is available now on Amazon Freevee. Here's the next clip. The second season of Firefly Lane follows the story of two friends growing up together.
No, this is the end.
It is.
Are you
sure you haven't watched the end for episode
No,
first?
I didn't.
Two friends growing up together over the span of 4 decades. And here, actress Sarah Chalk talks about her favorite era to film.
I have an 80s dress-up drawer in my house that existed like pre-Firefly Lane. So I brought in some sweet stirrup pants and an amazing acid wash pink jean jacket to my first wardrobe fitting. And it's so fun to play something that's in a time period that's so specific.
I don't think I want to see it.
Firefly Lane season 2 is available now on Netflix. So this is the last season, Kathy?
Yes.
Just 2 seasons?
Yeah, and I believe it was split in half. I think this is the second half. And yes, I believe that this is the end of it. This was the show that I told you about a while ago where it's hard to watch Katherine Heigl in the 80s because she's so Botoxed and face worked up that it's like it almost doesn't make sense in the 80s.
Okay.
But
what's the plot?
It's a really good show. It's 2 friends that grew up together, and it's their life from when they were kids until adults. And right now, going into the season, they're currently not talking and not friends. And it's really good. It's a good show.
It's like the Banshees of Industry.
Like I said, it's available on Netflix now. All right, there you go. That's the Entertainment Report in a nutshell this morning on the Preston and Steve Show. We're less than an hour away from your first shot at winning $1,000 this morning. It's MMR's Concert Cash, so hang in there, 8 o'clock, your first opportunity. And then we'll do it again at 10 and noon and 3 and 5 today. We'll take a quick break. We got a cavalcade of guests on the program. Tell you about it in a bit. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
This weekend.
Don't discuss.
Ever agree on ever.
And that's not a hole in the relationship.
Right.
That's just smart. You just don't agree on some things. That's totally fine. If it's an agitation, there's an entire rest of your lives to live. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know what, my wife and I
whether Hulk could beat Hulkbuster.
I don't think we'll ever agree on is which way the toilet paper goes on the roll.
Yeah.
And
or whether or not you should use it.
No. We both agree that you should use it, but I put toilet paper on the right way and she doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Top down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes over.
Does it matter? It does matter to you guys?
No,
you know what? Consider this.
No,
You're bowling it up and jamming it in your butt.
It comes off of the toilet paper roll easier.
There you go.
There you go.
Mr. Morrison.
Aesthetically.
By the way, did you guys see my notes in the bathroom this morning?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, is it still out of toilet paper?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that
Dude, it was
the
out
other
of
day.
toilet paper yesterday.
Did you do that last week?
No.
Because someone had the courtesy to put up on the door.
Yeah.
out of TP, so I went to another bathroom.
Can you fill me in here?
I saw that. So we were out of toilet paper, and
In the men's room?
In the men's room. So this morning I went in there and I did my business. It was a flashback to Casey when you caught me with my pants down in there.
Did you have to move stalls?
I did. I moved over to the second stall, and Kathy was out in the second stall.
Did you have to use regular?
Fortunately, it wasn't so messy that I could pull my underwear
use your
up.
shirt.
And I walked in. I used my shirt.
So over the sink.
No, I got some paper towels.
gaskets.
No, paper towels.
You had to use paper towels?
Yeah, but I
wet them.
I moistened them, so it didn't rip.
The man played it right.
And so anyhow, what I did after that is I happened to have my highlighter on me.
You put that in your butt?
No.
What is that?
I got 2 pieces of paper towel, and I wrote no PTP.
Yeah.
And set it over the toilet paper dispenser.
Awesome. Because if you go in and you see that, and you don't want someone to replicate your horrible situation. Someone actually stuck a note on the door going in last week, and I appreciate them doing that.
Fortunately, everything was a clean movement this morning. It wasn't mushy.
It was like a good cellist person has a clean movement.
Yeah.
So anyhow, not every argument has a resolution.
Exactly. Getting back to the core issue.
When you start to hit these sub-freezing temperatures, anything below 32 degrees, and then when you get down into teens and the freezing happens even faster, there's all kinds of things that you can do with the weather.
You can play with the weather.
You can play with the weather.
So one of the downside is, of course, the needless loss of life. The plus side is you can do stupid stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we decided we'd try an experiment or two while we have these conditions.
So what's the boiling water thing?
It is very cool.
So here's what you do, and this is a few years ago. This little thing started to happen and pop up. If you take a pot of boiling water, when the temperature gets well below freezing, if you go outside, Kathy, and you throw it up in the air, it turns into snow. Like immediately.
Why boiling water and not cold water?
Because it gets out. I guess because of the heat shift. Can we get our physicists back on the line?
I don't know.
Right?
I'm not sure. I didn't research it, to be honest, but there's a reason for it. So.
Yeah, and I watched a video the other day of a guy in Minnesota, and I think it was below zero where he was, and he had peed outside, and there was steam coming out.
Yes, that does happen.
Like just flat out.
In fact, maybe you'll have Nick take a dump and see what happens.
I don't know. Nick, you got one cooking?
Yeah, man. I'll do whatever you guys want.
Really?
Nick looks very uncomfortable. But Nick, should we just right out of the gate do the hot water?
I'm going to take the lid off. Max, you're going to toss it. Try not to toss it in my face. Okay.
No, wait, Nick. Before you do it, I would step away from Callie and step away a further. Step out to the lot.
Yeah, all right. So Max is going to throw it into the lot, but I'll take the lid off because Max has both hands on the pot itself. Boiling water. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready, man.
Makes sense.
All right,
watch the video. Nick is going to give the description.
2, 1. Here we go. Took the lid off. Max tosses it in there. Oh my God! Now, not all of it turned into into snow, but a decent amount of it did. Also, a decent amount immediately turned into steam.
And it's so windy that it went 50 yards away in the blink of an eye.
It was down the parking lot.
That was gone.
We did get instant snow. But the wind is whipping so much that by the time Nick was done talking, it was already half a parking lot away.
It was gone.
Two things also happened. Max's foot was burnt, and the pot of water is now empty.
Oh.
All right, so let's see Callie's hair now. I don't want her to weld to the.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they poured more water on it, Steve.
Well, we don't want her to freeze to the thing, right?
She's still not laying down.
At this point, I'll take it.
Well,
anything.
Yeah, I mean, her hair is frozen solid, guys.
All right.
It's not sticking up like we saw in some of those hot tub photos.
Yeah.
Where people, but I mean, it's coated with hairspray and it is completely frozen solid.
All right, because she's got very thick hair, so to get that sucker to freeze up the way we want it to would be a lot of work. But you can see the tips; it looks like icicles.
Wow. Okay, so we've learned that water
freezes in cold.
Freezes in cold temperatures.
Yeah.
All right.
And that if someone's hair is wet with that same type of water, it will freeze in cold temperatures. Now we're looking at Callie here. I just don't want her to freeze to the. Make sure she moves a little bit.
Yeah, we can. How long has she been out there? Anybody know?
She's going to look like Wendy O. Williams. What was that?
About 5 minutes.
The punk rocker.
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Can she move her head so we can see if it's frozen?
There we go.
Yeah. All right, we have frozen hair.
Yeah.
It's sticking sticking straight out.
No, that's cool. We got it.
All right.
It actually looks like, what does that look? It looks like the when Maleficent turned the forest dead.
Yes. Oh, like all those branches. and
branches,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that. Bill calling us?
Yeah.
Okay, Bill's calling us.
Bill's not wearing gloves.
Hang on, let me go to him.
Did he come in on his motorcycle?
No, he is. He just took one glove.
Why does he have a chafing dish?
There's no way he came in on his motorcycle. Bill Weston, Man About Town, are you there?
Good morning, my warm-feathered friend.
Hey. So, first of all, what do you have in the crook of your arm there? Are those peppermints?
They're peppermints that my wife went to Costco and got like the 30-gallon size.
Yeah.
Realized that she only needed a dozen for her candy dish. And she said, well, why don't you take the rest into work? I said, that's really economically wise.
All right, fair enough. And so what did you want to, you wanted to jump in on this frozen hair thing, I guess, huh?
Well, first I see an intern out here freezing her tail off and with no hat on.
Yeah.
You know, your mother always said, don't leave the house without your hat and gloves.
Yeah.
And zip up your coat. And so I said, I hope you get extra credit for your internship program for this. She says, no, there's no credit for this. So, Marissa, we need to have a little chat.
Well, Bill, can you just actually go over and just have her raise her head? Because I think her hair's probably properly frozen now.
Yeah, let's check on the hair.
Hold on just a second.
All right.
All right.
We just don't want her to freeze to this building.
Ooh, yeah. We've got some nice...
All right, that's cool.
That's it.
She's good.
It's frozen solid.
Have her come in.
And it's rigid. It's sticking straight out.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, how long are your pubes?
Oh, Jesus.
I just, that's my second question. When Casey asked if they were gray.
Casey asked if they were gray.
Hey, Bill, you can tell her to come in, Bill.
Yeah, you guys can come in. We want to see this.
Hold on, Marissa has something. Marissa?
Just say this is Callie's last week, so this is like her last
There you go. We love Callie.
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Don't want to get me in trouble.
All right, Bill, you and Callie can come inside. A Volvo that was owned by David Bowie was auctioned off for approximately $218,000 in Switzerland. His Volvo 262C was one of the last of that line produced in 1981, and it was delivered to his Swiss home in June of that year. The car was initially registered under Bowie's own name, David Robert Jones, before transferring over to the record company Bellway Brothers.
This is the beginning of Philly Loves Bowie Week is today.
Can you do a commercial for the Chili Dogs place?
No, that was Cinderella.
Cinderella. Yeah. Pat's Chili Dogs.
Chili Dogs.
Ground control to chili dogs. Hi, I'm David Bowie with a passionate message about any fan who loves a good chili dog.
How'd you get Bowie to do this?
Well, he was in town.
Well, look who it is.
Yeah, hi. Bing, I'm here to tell you about the best chili dog I've ever had.
Sounds great. Do tell.
It's Pat's Chili Dogs.
How did they get him in the first place?
If you like a chili dog, bum.
Where is it?
I don't know. But anyhow, he definitely
Do you like a good chili dog.
He definitely owned a Volvo, and that's.
Oh no, I've got chili all over my Volvo.
That's Chili Dogs. The We Buy Gold place now.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyhow, David Bowie.
Do you have extra gold you'd like to make some money off of?
All right, and then finally, what?
What?
Oh, there you go.
I am David Bowie. I just had an otherworldly experience. As Major Tom, I took you into space, but now it's time to explore your belly.
Okay.
Introducing my new character, Ziggy Chili Dog.
Did he have Diamond Dogs?
Chili Dogs.
Was that what his album was? Diamond Dogs?
Was it?
The new one's called Chili Dogs.
How bizarre would it be just out of nowhere?
He just becomes enamored of chili dogs.
That he is all of a sudden he is a proponent of chili dogs. Oh, this is Diamond Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, Diamond Dogs.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the news that Khloe Kardashian is pregnant? You may have heard that, right?
Yeah. She was on Ellen, right?
She made the announcement, of course, a little while back. She may be head over heels in love with her boyfriend, NBA star Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, head over heels.
But the revenge body star has no desire to get hitched anytime soon. She told Ellen DeGeneres in the first TV interview since announcing the pregnancy that we're not in any rush for that.
We're in no rush to get married.
She added, as you know, I've rushed quite a few things before.
And I've made some mistakes, and I regret those mistakes.
Referencing her marriage to Lamar Odom after knowing him for 30 days. I forgot
wow.
that's how quickly that happened. Yeah.
It was just 30 days.
Oh, my God. Look at this picture.
Yeah.
She does look like a
It looks
giant.
like it looks like a scene from Pacific Rim.
And
She's a
listen,
kaiju.
not fat.
No.
She's just a tall person.
I love you, Ellen.
Do they have her stats on Wiki, like how tall she is?
6'9".
So, Nick, type in how tall is.
I think she's 5'11".
But like, even in their
Khloe
family
Kardashian.
pictures, I don't think she's towering over the rest of them.
No, she's bigger.
And I don't know how tall.
Because OJ's her father.
Ellen is either.
She's 5'10".
5'10".
There we
That
go.
would make Ellen
Pretty
like
damn tall.
3'11".
Yeah, because that's how tall my wife is. She's 5'10".
Yeah, that's not like
5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that range.
bare range.
But I think the other ones are just, everybody else is just tiny.
Tiny?
Yeah. So anyhow, as you know, she said I rush into quite a few things before. Right now, I'm so loving the place I'm in and very happy with how things are. We talk about it for sure. What's meant to be will be.
I just love spending time now foraging through garbage cans. It's really a zen thing for me. Ellen.
Kardashian adds that she knows her 26-year-old beau is a good dad after watching him parent his 1-year-old son, Prince, in a previous relationship.
Okay. That's the tip-off.
She said, he's such a good dad. He's so great just during pregnancy, and he makes me more excited, too. I'm excited. That's unbelievable that he has just a 1-year-old and has moved on.
He's a great dad.
He's fathering
He's a
another one
great
over
dad.
here. And
Did he bring Khloe to the birth?
thanks,
Preston?
Kath. This mystery sound thing. Nick found some kind of sound he wants us to listen to and try to identify.
If you can.
I like this.
I think that you will enjoy the sound because I found it to be funny and also reminiscent, Steve, of something that you and I both love.
Oh.
And I think that you and I...
Baby Day Out?
No, it won't remind you of Baby's Day Out.
All right.
But I think once you hear it, Steve, you will think the same way that I thought.
All right. I am very intrigued.
Do you think that any of us will be able to identify what this is?
I don't know.
I think this
It's
is
tough.
something that Nick and I will share, and you guys will have to be left out of it.
All right, well, we'll watch the magic unfold between you two. Here we go. I'm going to play this.
I love it.
There's more. Hang on. A little more here.
Wow.
It sounds like a stupid bird.
Yeah, I agree. It's some kind of animal for sure.
Steve, what did it remind you of? Because it reminded me of something immediately.
Nick, I have to say it has not. I do like it.
I think it sounds like the end of the Batman movie, the Joker's
Joker.
laugh box.
No. It does, but that's not what it reminded me of.
It sounds Star Warsy.
Let me.
It reminded me of the Imperial probe droid
Yes.
on Hoth when Han and Chewie are out in the ice, and you hear that thing in the
Right. So that, but I thought that was kind of too obvious. But
Okay.
yeah, but I do know. Okay, so yes, we do agree.
I bet if we filtered that. I always enjoyed that, by the way. Whatever. That brief moment in the movie where it's
Yeah. It's a good bet the Empire knows we're here.
Yep.
So what is it, in fact?
There it is.
And back at the base, I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's saying.
All right. Well, what the hell is it?
Sounds like a robot
like a turtle.
pleasuring itself.
You guys want to put in actual guesses?
I'm gonna.
I said turtle.
I think it's a platypus. I don't know.
Kathy was closest with stupid bird.
A stupid bird.
It's a white male ptarmigan.
Of course. Oh, my God.
course.
Now I hear it. I hear it. Ptarmigan.
And so why is it emitting the sound? Is it a natural sound that it makes?
It's the mating call that it makes when it's walking around in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So here's video of it.
Oh, my God. It looks like Martin Scorsese.
What are you talking about?
The bird with the giant eyebrows.
Oh, you're right. He does have markings above his eyes that look like big bushy eyebrows. I didn't think of Martin Scorsese.
Oh my God, he looks like Martin Scorsese.
You know what? You know what animal looks like Martin Scorsese is a black schnauzer. You ever see a black schnauzer? I swear to God, you're like, oh my God, is that the guy who directed The Departed?
Is it mainly because of the giant brow shelf?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the great Scorsese looks more like Martin. Oh, we're looking at it. Yep, there we go.
A little bit.
You might be right.
All right. Interesting. Thank you for sharing, Nick.
The source of that is interesting AF on Instagram, and it's the actual quote is the male white ptarmigan sounds just like an Imperial probe droid from Star Wars.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot like it.
I do like it.
All right. What do we have here? Like 20 minutes or so to kill.
You gonna do it?
Yeah. City Beat.
What?
I think we're going to do City Beat because I got some stories from in and around the area that I think are worth bringing up.
He's the man behind the beat who beats that meat over his oh-so-sweet feet.
Scan to the back. All right. You know what? Since we led with the bird thing, I have another bird. And Kathy might even like this. I know she doesn't care about birds, but on World Penguin Day, the Adventure Aquarium in Camden welcomed a new little penguin chick.
Oh, that's cute.
Sheila and Spud, a breeding couple, had another chick hatch this past Tuesday. They also welcomed another baby blue chick over the weekend. The sex of both chicks has not been determined yet, but the aquarium will have a gender reveal soon. And both chicks will be on exhibit with their parents for the next 3 weeks before they are moved behind the scenes.
I love that their area for the penguins. It's awesome.
It is. It doesn't smell so great, but
no,
they're cute.
Any penguin enclosure I've ever been at in my life stinks like dying corpses.
So far,
dead
Sheila
corpses.
and Spud had 3 chicks hatch. In addition to the recent chicks, a pair had welcomed one named Tater Tot.
Tater Tot.
In February. And if you want to see the little blue chicks grow, you can visit Adventure Aquarium and purchase your tickets and go enjoy, which you've never been in the aquarium. It's great. It's a wonderful experience.
I feel like I'm in an aquarium right now. It's like an ice box in here.
Casey's warm, and he put the AC on.
I'm going through menopause. I got
He's having hot flashes. That's why I'm wearing a jacket right now.
I'm freezing right now.
All right, let's see. I have other I have a lot of City Beat stories. So, yeah, Scoobity Wow Wow.
Scoobity Wow Wow.
So, a new rule at a South Jersey Little League organization is being implemented to cut down on spectators fighting with volunteer umps. For years, officials with the Deptford Township Little League say a small number of spectators yell at the umpires for calls they don't like. And now league officials say that if you fight with the umps, you could find yourself making the calls. You're going to become the umpire.
I like this idea.
So Deptford Township Little League President Don Bazzufi said they think that that the call was bad, which always amazes me.
I want you to be the umpire for my Little League team.
He says it always amazes me that they can see a strike better over there than the umpire can 1 foot in back of them. And he says it's gotten so bad, 2 volunteer umps have quit in the past week.
They do. I hear stories. Now, it's been years since I've been to a Little League game, but I've heard stories sort of peripherally from people who say it's gotten really bad.
Well, we're like in the midst of it. This is like Jace's sport, and we're playing Little League now. There's a little bit. I don't think it's, at least where we play, it's not bad at all. But I almost feel like arguing with the ump is like part of it. Like, it's almost, when it happens, you're like, oh, look what's happening. And it's nothing. Our guys are not getting crazy. Our parents are not getting crazy.
Okay.
There are a few out there. But I just think it's like part of it to get annoyed that he called your kid out. Like, of course I'm going to be annoyed if it's close.
But some people take it to another level, so much so that these people are quitting.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and there's brawls. There was footage recently. It was kind of, I think, near us where parents went down on the field, out of their little bleachers, and it got really physical.
Yeah, I've listen. I'm guilty of yelling at refs and umps. I've done it as coaches. I've done it as a parent. Some of it I'm not proud of. Others I'm like, it's a little they're justified.
Well, listen, you would yell at adults will yell at a game.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is when you're yelling from removed, stands, you're right up on the field when you're going to a Little League game.
Here's the deal, and I've seen it all, right? I've seen it where the parent is completely and totally out of line, and I've been it all, right? Where the parent, I've been completely and totally out of line, and I can admit that. But other times, like the ref, it's like, dude, can you just tune these people out? Sometimes they're yelling, okay, to the kid on the field,
right?
Supportive things that contradict what you just said, okay? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, hey, umpire, you suck because you just called out a ball and it was a strike. I'm yelling to the child, hey, listen, that was a great pitch, keep it up, right? And I've seen this, and like I had saw an umpire quit before the first inning was even over, and it was and it was all because the coach was yelling to the pitcher.
Well, that's just part of the mechanics of the game.
Supportive things.
Right,
So I've seen it all. And
I've seen it a bit.
No, I've seen it. And listen, I feel like people, but I don't know. I think it all gets kind of lumped into one giant thing where the parents are completely and totally out of.
What do you think about this?
I think this is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, are the parents going to get paid for it?
Well, I think to me what this seems to indicate is maybe if you try it yourself, you might have a greater appreciation for what it involves.
I've done it. Yeah,
Stacey, to answer your question, if you fight with the umps during a game, you have to volunteer your time to umpire 3 games before you're allowed back as a spectator. They won't let you come back.
Yeah.
And you have to volunteer. No, you don't get paid.
Okay.
Volunteer.
All right.
So that's part of the deal. And I would imagine it's more so than just, hey, that was a strike, man. What are you doing over here? It's going to be more than that.
Right. You have to be obvious. What you don't want is those things that descend into brawls.
Yeah. So Don Bozuffi said they're coming here, they're being abused, they don't need that, so they're walking away.
I believe in the Little League.
He said the main purpose is not for them to be able to call a baseball game, but for them to see what's going on out here and that it's not that easy.
Well, there we go.
And these are volunteers, by the way, that are getting yelled at.
No, they're not volunteers. They're getting paid.
Do you enjoy
at this particular place? I believe he said these are volunteer. Okay, Case, shake your head, whatever, man.
No, they're saying that the parents
cut down on spectators fighting with volunteer umps is what it says in this story.
Okay.
So I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. I'm seeing what those words say, but that's interesting. I've never seen a volunteer ump unless it's like at like a t-ball level where like every kid scores every play and there is no score and
times
at the end
are changing.
I don't know. Some of the umps are like high school kids. They're getting paid.
Didn't intern Joe do it for a stretch? Like he was a baseball umpire, and I remember him telling some stories where he would have to deal with the parents. And like, look, I mean, most of the time it's kids in their late teens or early 20s who are just trying to do something to stay close to the game and have a little bit of fun on the weekend, and maybe get a little bit of pay if they're in a league that pays for it.
Right.
And Joe would hear it from parents and players, and I'm just like, man, well, that sucks.
You think of the Bad News Bears scenario. Think like Preston and the original Vic Morrow, and the people who are living vicariously through their kids. Like my dad would call out a few things, which is just part of the game. But I think what they're talking about here is it transcends like you're getting caustic and verbally abusing.
There's definitely lines that are crossed, without a doubt.
So which side do you stand on? I don't know where you are.
Well, no, I'm on both sides of it. I really am on both sides of it because listen, like bottom line
you're
is
Team Cullen.
Bottom line is no, I'm not. Is like winning matters to people, right? And when a call is made that dictates the outcome of a game, that kind of sucks for the team on the crap end of the stick, right? And I feel like a lot of times umpires and referees, maybe not at the Little League level, but at higher levels, are a little bit soft. And I also think that they throw their weight around a little too much sometimes, because they can just go, hey, you're out of here, and all.
If you had to distill it down to a yes or no, what do you believe? Should they do this or not?
You can't.
Okay.
This is not like. This is not black and white. There's a lot of gray here.
I'm going to go to Corey, the president of the Hatboro Little League.
Oh, do we have appropriate music?
El Presidente.
Oh, yeah, of course we do.
So, here we go. Hi, Corey. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President.
Hello, guys. Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's up?
I'm just calling to chime in. We've been doing this for a couple years, too. This Deptford Little League is getting a lot of publicity about this stuff, and it's great because it's getting the word out. I just wanted to chime in and say that at the Little League level, volunteer umps is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
They are supposed to be volunteers. And what has happened over the years is a lot of places have, especially with the older divisions, like 13 and up, like we have had to go into paid umps because people don't want to volunteer anymore.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
They
your
don't wanna
incentive.
volunteer to begin with.
Yeah.
And once they get berated for doing it by parents who 95% of the time don't even know the rules, and I'm not putting down any of our parents at Hepper Little League. I'm talking about other Little Leagues.
Of course.
But the Little League level, like when you watch the Little League World Series on TV and all of that leading up to that, the regionals and everything like that, those guys are all volunteers, volunteer umpires and everything else. So that's how official Little Leagues were set up, was to be all volunteers.
I think they should cull from the prison system and right, like a work release. Who's going to argue with a con?
Well, wait. If they're not supposed to get paid, then who's paying them?
Nobody. Well, when we're forced to do paid umpires like higher levels, then we have to we go to umpire pools and assigners who have guys who are willing to do it, who also do like PIAA, high school games, sometimes college games, stuff like that, where they do get paid.
So are you paying them because you can't get enough volunteers?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, it makes because it's so hard to fill those slots. So you agree with this methodology?
They don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And now what we're seeing now is it's getting harder and harder to even find guys who are willing to do it when they get paid.
Corey, what's the worst you've seen it get on a field with an altercation or an exchange between coaches and parents?
Well, for the last we adopted a few years ago. We adopted kind of the same policy as Deptford. They've taken a little further. I think what I read with them is they do a 3-game suspension or you have to umpire 3 games maybe. I may be wrong, but I think that's what I read when I read the article about that originally. Ours is if it's a spectator or a coach or anybody who is ejected or is out of line towards an umpire or towards calls on the field, they cannot come back to coach another game or spectate at our complex until they umpire a game.
Okay. Just one.
When we did this, I said, I don't care if it's a 90-year-old grandmother and she can get behind the mound and do it.
Hey, I need to ask you, Corey. Listen. The people that ended up having to volunteer and see what it was like. Did it work? Did it change them a little bit? Did they understand a little more?
At this point, in the last 3 years since we started this, I think it's gotten the message across a little bit, and there's only been one time where anybody from our own league has done it, and after that, instead of umpiring a game, they left and went to another.
They went to another league
where you can let go.
All right, mission accomplished then.
Yeah. I mean, it just we can't have it. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're catching it before it starts. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
All right.
See you, Corey.
Guys. You rock.
Yeah, to be honest, man, it's my last foray into kids organized sports was when my youngest was a cheerleader, so for football. So we went to that, and so I didn't have a really hand in the game or anything like that. But I would sit back and watch some people and just go, yeah. It really turned me off to all of it, man. Just watching people take it so seriously. You like watching people freak out?
I think it's so
entertaining.
Listen, if it was directed towards my son or anything to do with him, I'd probably be angry.
Yeah.
But like watching these people, and we're like, because we actually
Just
have
shake your head.
a really good group, and we're like, look, it's so and so again. There
they
we
go.
go.
A friend of mine when I first started doing stand-up, comedian that I met, and he had a video camera, and he'd go to Little League games where there's nobody he knew was there, but he'd go up in the stands, and his thing was to go, rip his head off! Like he would so out crazy the parents that they would all look at him, and it was really very funny footage.
Yeah. Lest you think I am one of those parents, I don't think I am, because I'm also like, I have played baseball, coached baseball, and I've umped. Okay, so I've been in all of the aspects of it, and I think for the most part, I do bite my tongue a lot.
Okay.
Nick, let me ask you this question, because this happened in the game last week. The bases were loaded, okay? There was a pop fly to second base. Okay, what is that?
Infield fly rule effect?
Okay, yeah. So what happens?
An out.
There's an automatic out.
Yeah, our girl missed the ball.
Wait, I'm sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
How old?
This is 8th grade softball.
Right.
This is infield fly.
Grade, yeah.
Okay.
We just had.
If it's little league, I'm like.
No, Nick, we just had it. We just had.
All right.
Same thing.
Okay.
So there were 2 in 1 inning, and we were getting smoked. By the way, I think the score was like 13-1, and we needed every single out we could get. The guy didn't call the infield fly. All right.
Yeah.
That's a basic rule.
It is. It's a confusing basic rule.
It is confusing.
And not everybody gets it. And I'm not gonna.
But I didn't say anything.
I'm not gonna say it's excusable, but I can see how the call would be missed.
Yeah.
Especially in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So they didn't call it an out?
Yeah, well, twice, because it happened twice in the same inning, and I told you. And the first one we missed, I was like, man, we really could have used that out. So not only did we not get that out, but then runs scored and stuff like. But listen, I didn't yell. I just said something to the other coach. I'm like,
we were
I'm gonna bang your wife.
When it happened in our game, they did call it, and it was the third.
Bang her teeth out.
It was the third out, and everybody kind of just mumbled to each other, and we were like, what is that?
Yeah.
Why isn't Kathy stepping up?
Oh, listen, I'm not yelling like crazy, yelling at the umps or anything, but like when Jace is up or he's about to get an out, like whatever it is, I'm.
That's cool.
And I'm always like, are people
sticking up for your kid?
Are people looking at me?
I'm going to go to, let's see, we have a bunch of volunteer umpires on the line. Hi, Chris, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on? You guys rock.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so you've done volunteer umpiring?
Yeah, one time, and I will never do it again.
No kidding. What happened?
So I'm for my little league, I was on the board member for my little league, and we're having a tournament. And, we're short umpires. So for every tournament, generally speaking, you have 2 umpires, a home plate umpire, and then he'll do home plate and third base, and then you also have a first base and second base umpire. So I did the first base and second base umpire. And this kid hits a line drive right down the first baseline, bounces off the first base, and goes foul. So real loud at the top of my lungs, I'm like, foul ball! Dude, parents lit me up. Lit me up. I nearly soiled myself.
Oh, my God.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a fair ball.
It's a fair ball, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But I'm thinking in my head, I saw it go foul at the very end.
Yeah.
So that's why I just yelled it out. Like, just not even thinking. Even after the game, I went to get a hot dog. People were still yelling at me.
Oh,
like,
my.
God, it was one bad call. It was like, get over it.
And by the way, even at the pro level, mistakes are made.
Yeah.
I told you guys one time my son was playing basketball, and I never volunteered to do anything at any of those games. And I'll tell you why. They needed somebody to be the scorekeeper.
Yeah.
And run the clock. And they came over and they're like, could you please do it? I'm like, you don't want me to do this. I don't know how to do this.
To protect them. Okay? You're trying to help them.
Really don't want me to do it. I'm like, man, we're really... Fine. Okay, I'll do it. And sure enough, a couple times during the game, the guy who asked me, I think it was the ref, to starts coming over and giving me a hard. You were supposed to stop the clock. You didn't. And I'm like, I told you I didn't know what I was doing. Now, I gave you fair warning.
Yes.
Right.
And he was giving me attitude. I'm like, you can't do this to me. You know? And
no, I agree with you.
Come on, man.
You were trying.
Yeah.
Like I've done that. I've said that before. Like you do not want me doing this.
Yeah.
Steve, you've alluded to a technique you use from time to time called the watcher, right?
Yes.
The goal here is to be outside of yourself,
watching yourself.
Watching yourself.
Is this who you want to be?
And if you are one of these parents doing this at a little league game, think about what your goal is here. They're not getting signed to a major league contract after the game. This is little league. And I swear to God, guys, the goal here is to have fun.
Yeah.
I know that winning is important, but seriously, just take a step back and just recognize the situation that you're in.
But how many times have we said that? No, it never happens. They just can't.
It doesn't matter.
To some people.
It's vicarious. It is that and especially when you get up, Nick, to the older, to the teenagers.
Oh man!
So in that case, what you're dealing with is, this is my son's a prospect here.
Well, Casey's got a nephew who's going through it. My buddy Matt's son is a great pitcher. He pitches on North Penn, and it's one of these things where like the older they get, the more that the parents sometimes think that the kids actually have a shot at a scholarship or a D1 or whatever, and maybe they do, but.
It's not that. It is at a certain point, like winning does matter. So
it does.
When a bad call is made and one team wins as a result and another team loses as a result, like that sucks for the team that just lost.
I know, but bad calls have a way of evening out. Over the course of the season, and that's why when people beat up on refs, even at the pro level, where they are the best in the world at doing what they do, eventually you're going to get a call that goes for you.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Yeah,
my daughter's volleyball season last year was ended on a wrong call. That was. So you say it evens out, but this one...
It was really wrong. They called it a home run.
No. The ball was out, and the one, the ref called it in, but then the line judge called it out, but it wasn't out. The line judge wasn't even... But, so the problem there is that, that was the end of the game, but it wasn't. So then the game went on, and they ended up losing 2 points later.
It sucks.
And so now, because you have a bunch of 8th grade girls that are, really upset because that was the end of their season.
Yeah, it's a life lesson.
Well,
Builds characters.
Life isn't fair.
Yeah, life sucks.
Okay. Girls, I want you to know I'm going to go sleep with that guy's wife.
All right, we only have time for one more call, and then we got to take a break. I'll go to Joe, who's been on hold longest. Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, buddy. What's up, man?
Thanks for letting me bother you at work.
It's okay.
We're happy to have you.
Listen, I got to do a quick shout-out. Today's my 21st wedding anniversary.
Oh.
My wife, Denise, I love her.
Excellent. Congratulations.
All right, so listen, I was an volunteer umpire in Montgomery County about 25 years ago. I did it for one season and one season only. And it wasn't the parents as much as it was the coaches that gave us problems.
Really?
Yeah, you see that too.
We even had one coach that if you were an umpire and you found out you had his team, you either tried to trade or you would just say, nope, I'm not umpiring today.
Wow. I mean, he was that.
We had coaches that there was one kid, he dropped an obvious fly ball. He was in right field. He should have had it. I think he lost it in the sun. When he came in from the end of the inning, the coach yelled at him, berated him, called him worthless, and benched him for the rest of the game.
Oh, my God.
And it was his son.
Yeah. How old was his child?
This was middle school age.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you don't even do that.
Can't do that. That's what they're trying to stop.
Yeah.
We had one kid who tried to stretch a double into a triple, and he tried to slide, and he started his slide way too early. He wanted to throw, but he came to a dead stop about a foot before the ball.
That is funny, though, when that happens.
The ball caught up to him, and I called him out, and his coach, who was in the first base side, starts yelling at me, ripping me a new one. His kid even said, hey, coach, I still haven't touched third base.
Yeah.
And the coach is like, don't you ever correct me in front of an umpire.
Oh, man.
There's a whole series of issues going on there.
But Joe, one season was enough for you, huh?
Yeah, the worst was I actually had a coach hit a kid.
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
And he said, and I said something to him, and he goes, he's my kid. And I said, not on this field, he's not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a
The
good
last
call.
game I played was we had this one coach, Angelo.
That's a lot of drama.
Nobody wanted to coach his games. Everybody tried to get away from him. The last game of the season, he was just being really miserable because his team was eliminated from the playoffs. And he just kept mouthing off to me the whole game. And at one point, I just said, that's it. I'm tired of it. One more word, and you're ejected. And he just looked me right in the eye and went, word.
There you go.
A baby.
Then you slept with his wife.
I ejected him. And then he wouldn't leave. Like, he has to leave the property. He wanted to go sit in the stands. I wouldn't let him do that. He had to leave the property.
You got to leave the state.
His wife comes up to me and says, look, I don't want to leave. I said, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm taking you home.
Yeah.
But then he actually pulled his kids off the field. And I went up to his assistant coach. I said, man, don't do this.
Yeah.
I said, you're setting the wrong example for these kids. He goes, it's his team. I said, no, it isn't. Not anymore. For the rest of the day, it's your team.
Wow.
And enough time went by, and they ended up forfeiting.
Yeah.
And then he goes around to his kids and tells his kids that I made them forfeit.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And I just flat out said, your coach is lying to you, son. I said, why don't you go ask him why he's lying? And that was the end of the season, and I never went back.
Wow.
There you go.
All right, Joe.
It sounds horrible.
Thanks for the call. We got to wrap up here. But, yeah, so there you go. One and done for him. And that was all in one season, all those stories.
God.
Crazy.
But it's all that trauma that helped him enjoy a long relationship with his wife.
So, very good. So, all right, that's City Beat. We're wrapping it up. I have more City Beat stories. Maybe we'll have to spread them out later on. I didn't know that the referee thing was going to go that long.
Traumatizing.
It is. All right, listen, we need to take a break. You know why? We got money to give away and tickets to give away as well. It's MMR's Concert Cash keyword. We will have that when we return. Bizarre File. Scott Keenan's going to be here, too. From Keenan's in North Wildwood. Stay down.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. WMMR.
Do we know?
I don't know because
2 years.
There's a hibernation thing, right?
You guys are mean.
The one thing is that the baby can immediately forage for itself when it comes out.
There is a picture here of the 4 girls, and she is significantly taller.
Significantly.
I'm a little bigger.
And you know they're wearing heels, Kathy.
Yeah.
When she gets into her laughing fit, man,
she's so
watch
Can't
out.
stop. It's a runaway train. Her gynecologist actually zip lines in. It's crazy. Okay, everything looks pretty good. Is that a stalagmite? What is that? Oh my God. One-eyed Willie.
Chester Copperpot.
There's an entire pirate ship in here. Hey, you remember when we fought that octopus? Oh, that was in the edited scene.
Yeah, they took that out of the movie.
By the way,
The Gooeys instead of the Goonies.
she's really pretty.
She has.
She's yes.
She doesn't look anything like she used to look. My assistant. Come on over here, man.
Hey,
look
Sloth,
at
come
this.
here.
Look at this. Navajo cave etchings.
Then when they have to do the look around the back end.
Goonies taking place inside Khloe Kardashian. Quickly, hide in the fallopian tubes. I'll use my chattering teeth to pull us up.
Oh, God. All right, so anyhow.
Okay.
They'll name the boy, if it's a boy, Tristan Jr.
Okay, cute.
Just to let you know. Here's another bit of trivia for National Trivia Day. Long before rap battles, there was flighting, the exchange of witty, insulting verses. The verbal throwdowns were popular in England and Scotland from the 5th to 16th centuries. So it was kind of like, your mama jokes, I guess, going back and forth, but back in the 5th to 16th
Your mater
centuries.
gives handies to the house staff.
Your mater.
Your mater. Your mater inhales snuff through her buttocks.
Burn.
Got you.
Dude, you know what that made me think of? Is we talked about knock knock jokes being a big thing in the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
And you were FDR.
He was trying to
doing a knock knock. Who's that? Your mother manually stimulates migrant workers. Oh my God! Yeah, so they it was called flighting.
Yeah, flighting,
and they would jab do little jabs at each other.
Your mater is so corpulent when she sits around the house, the spire sticks in her rectum. Snap!
Oh snap!
Snap!
Oh my God! All right, so that's what they used to do apparently. So that's been going on for a long time.
I think we talked about this one time. The history of humor and what makes us want to laugh and makes us want to make others laugh, and it goes back. A lot of times, the basis of everything is in insults.
I felt like an idiot yesterday because my 8-year-old daughter got me with a little bit of a joke.
Did she?
Yeah, can I get you with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, righty. Steve, would you remember me in an hour?
Yes.
Steve, would you remember me in a day?
Yes.
Steve, would you remember me in a month?
Yes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I thought you said you would remember.
Snap!
I was like, how did I fall for that?
My daughter got me one yesterday, too, which was, what do you call a suspicious noodle?
What?
An impasta.
I was like, spaghetti?
Right.
It's like beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
Why?
A herd of jerking cattle.
Beef stroganoff. Or did you hear about the peanut walking through the park? It was assaulted. I mean, they're so stupid.
I know, and they're great.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily know how to verbalize the feeling that I have inside when I see like lame Eagles chants and people making up their own lame Eagles fight songs and lame quote unquote pep rallies.
As you were,
like forced pep rallies.
Forced pep rallies.
Forced pep rallies. All right, here's one. Yeah, and these I love the outfit and I love the zeal for it.
Can you describe it, please, for those who are listening to the radio?
So it is an older couple. Married couple that has made up, and they're dancing. They're wearing Eagles gear. She's got a cool little Eagles tinsel wig on, and Steve, I know you love tinsel.
I'm a huge fan of tinsel.
Right.
And they're making up their own Eagles song.
So you hate this elderly couple because they've made up their own Eagles song?
I think it's a lame song.
So what? They're having fun.
You know what? And you're right. They are having fun.
Here, Marissa, pull the audio. She heard us talking about this in the break, so she pulled up the audio. I haven't heard this. I've just seen this video footage that we're watching right now. So here we go. This is them, and their Casey says, lame Eagles fight song.
Fly all the way up. Fly all the way up. Fly all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Eagles, do your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring. Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Get behind this, right?
Fly all the way up.
I agree with you, Kathy. Yes, they're having fun.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
I love it. I love the genuine zeal, the energy. What you don't know is that this woman is an Army veteran who donates her time on the... No, I don't know what the story is. They're having a great time.
Yes.
I was trying to run a CSI diagnosis or analysis of, I think, what... These are clearly long-time Eagles fans.
They're really happy.
Really entrenched in it. Are you more pissed off about what you perceive to be bandwagon jumpers... Okay, then I'm at a loss.
I just don't. Why do you have to make this a lame song? We have a good song.
But they're not.
They're having fun. They're a couple. They're having
you know
fun.
what, Kathy? I'm with you. I am
Listen, they're not out performing it somewhere.
Fly all the way up. Well, yes, they are. And now it's on my Twitter feed.
Let me ask you
control.
something. In defense, and Kathy, I know you're going to back me up on this. What do Eagles do?
They fly all the way up.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then they also swoop down and
wait,
listen,
I love his participation. Where there's like one time where he's like,
Yeah, that's it. Well, listen, I don't think they're trying to rewrite the Eagles fight song. They're just having some fun.
Listen, and I know because I bought the stinking dog mask. And anybody that wants to criticize the dog mask craze, I say, shut up. We're just having fun. You know what I mean?
You're contradicting yourself.
Contradicting myself.
He's admitting the hypocrisy here.
Yeah.
So you're saying on a completely visceral level, and you don't understand it.
Right.
Is it all just based on the fact that you think this song sucks?
Yeah, I think.
When I think it's brilliant.
Well, all right. So I think I'm mad about the song because it was presented to me, and I believe it was presented to me on Twitter. Like, dude, this is great.
What do you mean? It was posted.
No, yeah, but it was somebody sent it to me.
Oh.
So somebody added me, and they're like, "This is great," and I was expecting it to be like this awesome song, and then I click on it, I'm like, oh.
That's not their fault. It's the person who sent it to you.
I think what they meant by this is great is look at this older couple having fun. That's probably what it means.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Did you see?
Fly all the way up.
I love that.
Fly all the way up. Come on, Eagles, do your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring. Fly all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's it. Wait, it's not even a whole yet.
It's like this.
Well,
it's like,
yeah. I'm on camera too.
It almost sounds like a someone from Maine. Fly
all the way up.
Yeah. Can we have some goddamn dinner now?
We should try and start a new chant. I think this one is
S-E-A-G. No, not seagull?
No, not seagulls. No, fly all the way up.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Hang on, we have the actual.
Fly all
You've
the
come
way
around
up.
on this, haven't you?
We have the.
Fly all the way up.
I think we have the song that that inspired the
Come
whole
on, Eagles, do your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring.
Wait, here's-
Fly all the way up.
best part. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It's just, I've been with this woman for 33 years, and every day is a living hell.
Hear his part now.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Is the dinner ready?
Yeah.
They're an adorable couple. They're having a blast.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is the guy filming. The guy in the background, I don't think
Doesn't
he
ever
does
say anything.
I don't think he does anything.
He is dancing.
He is dancing, yes.
Yeah.
He's got some moves.
Is this song done now? Did we win the Super Bowl yet?
Have you seen these tattoos that people will get of waveforms?
Of what now?
And you can use an app on your phone that reads the waveform and actually plays your tattoo. A gal got a tattoo, a waveform tattoo of the last voicemail that her grandmother sent her, left her before she died.
That's freaking wild.
And it was like, hey, honey, just want to call and say hi. All right, I'll talk to you later, something like that. And so she took the digital waveform, which any digital audio equipment, you visually see a waveform, and they managed to tattoo it. Here's a video of it up here on the monitor here, Steve. And they tattoo it on their skin, and then you hold this app up to it, and it reads it and plays it. How?
In their voice?
In their voice.
Shut.
Because the waveform is precise to the to the
tonal quality of the voice.
And it's amazing. Now, my question is how long is that going to last? That tattoo is eventually going to, bleed a little bit in the side.
Here's your concert cash keyword.
All right, keyword is START, S-T-A-R-T. And you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter that. And you can do it through the contest page, WMMR.com, or the MMR app. Of course, you can text the word to our special contest short code number, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest, and all MMR winners get 2 tickets to the MMRBQ Saturday, September 16th. Tickets are on sale now, by the way. And winners will get a call from Beasley. Make sure that you answer your phone. Contest rules at WMMR.com. For MMRBQ details, text FINALLY to 39333 for a link, and you'll get the information. It's sponsored by Meineke, so let me give you that word one more time. It is START, S-T-A-R-T. Enter it now. We're going to take a look at traffic, see what's up. Kathy, what's going on this morning?
There is a lot that's going on. So we have a closure still in Delaware, 301 northbound at Jamison Corner Road to Route 1. That's closed because of the accident. Route 1 northbound closed between Polbridge Road and 301. And now we have Route 13 northbound closed between 896 and Port Penn Road. That's related to the Route 1 closure because of police activity is why they have that shut down. A closure in New Jersey in Camden, 73 northbound between Jackson Road and Taunton Avenue. That is an accident. 42 south at Route 130. The off-ramp closed with construction. And then on the Blue Route, we're stopped northbound from 95 to McDade Boulevard. Southbound side jams the Mid-County tolls and the Route 1 to Media. Schuylkill eastbound slowing 202 into Gulf Mills. The Blue Route to Belmont. The Boulevard into the Vine. Westbound Passyunk to South Street. The Boulevard to Belmont. The Blue Route out to 202. 95 northbound heavy, the Academy through to Cotman, and then the Betsy Ross Bridge into Girard. And then on the northbound side, we're slow 452 to Curlin Street. 309 southbound at Norristown Road. That off-ramp still closed because of a crash. Pennsylvania Turnpike westbound slowing Willow Grove to Fort Washington. The accident cleared off of the northeast extension southbound at Lansdale. This traffic report brought to you by LP Smart Side. Beauty and durability come together in pre-finished LP Smart Side Expert Finish Trim and Siding, available in 16 versatile colors. Learn more at lpcorp.com/color. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, it's brought to you by Mulchworks of Aston, offering the highest quality mulch and topsoil that's manufactured on site. And they also have leaf compost, decorative stone, pavers, and more. Delivery or pickup for residential and commercial markets. You can visit mulchthis.com. All right, Steve, this is why you keep your shoes on.
Yes.
Window repairs to a family home after an adventurous deer barreled through their Michigan home. The Bay County Sheriff's Office posted about the unusual incident, noting that this was not their usual break and enter suspect. 4 p.m. Monday, a family of 5 heard their front window smash.
Yeah.
And it was a deer who started dashing through the family's home.
So let's say you're there and you don't have your shoes on.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't run.
Smart ass.
The family quickly enlisted the help of law enforcement, called 911, and they came and assisted the family in smoking the adventurous deer outside.
So they burned the house down.
They did, yes. They figured that was the most, rational thing to do. Police snapped a picture of the deer perched on top of one of the beds, looking alert and staring directly into the camera.
I'm going to kill you.
The deputies eventually were able to lure the deer out of the bedroom, and while blocking off the other rooms, the deer zipped out the front door and went back into the wild. The sheriff's office said no one was injured, and the family opted not to press any charges.
Yeah, I just think first to help you with running, and then also if you have to kick the deer back out the window,
you might have
shoes on.
Yep, exactly.
And you want to try to help
broken glass.
Yes. Right.
You don't want to cut your feet up.
Did we not learn anything from Annie Lennox?
Sleep with your shoes on. Police in Bremerton. I'm not sure where this is. I think it's in the Northwest.
Of where?
Oh, yeah, and it's in Washington State.
Oh, all right.
Arrested a man Sunday who illegally boarded an out-of-service ferry and allegedly tried to steal it.
He tried to steal a ferry?
Yeah. A woman and her 2 kids were waiting for a ferry to Seattle and watched from nearby as the man pushed buttons in the wheelhouse. A ferry captain on a different ferry saw the man on the fast ferry and alerted authorities.
Do we have those bird sounds?
The man in his 40s was in his 40s and told police that a revolution was coming.
Oh.
And that's why he needed the ferry.
He needed a ferry armada.
Yeah. So the man faces charges of burglary, theft, malicious mischief, and unlawful transit conduct.
Trying to start the ferry.
That's the weird bird sounds we had earlier this morning. All right, this is pretty wild, man. A mob in the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince beat and burned 13 suspected gang members to death with gasoline-soaked tires.
There's footage of them doing this, and the guys are screaming and begging for mercy, but apparently they didn't listen.
Well, this is after they pulled the men from police custody at a traffic stop. So they went vigilante on these guys' asses. The horrific vigilante violence underlined public anger over the increasingly lawless situation in Port-au-Prince, where criminal gangs have taken control over an estimated 60,000 of the city.
Yes.
Or 60% of the city since July 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moise. 6 more burned bodies were laid in a nearby neighborhood later Monday, and some witnesses said that the police had killed them and residents set them on fire.
Even Hyman Roth left Preston.
Haiti National Police said in a brief statement that officers in the city's Canepe Vert section stopped and searched a minibus for contraband early Monday and had confiscated weapons from suspects they believe were unfortunately lynched by members of the population.
Wow.
A statement did not elaborate on how the members of the crowd were able to take control of the suspects. A witness said that members of the crowd took the suspected gangsters away from police, beat them, and stoned them before putting tires on them, pouring gasoline over them, and burning them.
People have had enough.
Yeah. So the suspects were believed to have been heading to another area to join a group of gang members who were battling police. Another witness said that there had been a lot of shooting in the area since the early morning. Wow.
On the plus side, after that, they all enjoyed some tasty mojitos.
Oh, and so you should.
Those are good drinks.
I love them.
Yeah.
After a tire burning, vigilante murder, it's really what you need.
All right, this is not quite as intense. A man scaled the KTLA news tower in Hollywood on Tuesday, drawing a large crowd and disrupting traffic for several hours before finally climbing down. Crews from Los Angeles Fire Department received reports of the incident around 6:30. The man is seen at about 30 feet up on the tower and straddling the KTLA marquee while holding a sign that read, "Free Billie Eilish." At one point, he
That's
was
what
seen
you call in a sniper.
At one point, he was seen playing an electric guitar. And officials called the man a protester, but it's unclear exactly what he was protesting. The handwritten sign had another message on the back that said, MK Ultra Sex Slaves Donald Marshall Clones.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he clarified it.
Yeah, right. A large inflatable airbag was positioned below the tower as crews tried to move the man to safety.
Are we the best guitar player in the world? Yeah.
And he was uncooperative and at one point told officers that he would come down in 20 minutes, but he remained on the tower for over 3 hours.
Would you jump like 4 stories into one of those large, you've seen them, the rescue workers, they'll deploy those bags?
Yeah.
Okay.
No way in hell. What about you?
1 story.
Yeah, maybe
Top
one
of a
story.
ladder.
Yeah. Crowds gathered across the street to watch the standoff unfold. Power was shut off to the tower, the electronic marquee, and police propped up a ladder for the man. Around 9:30, he finally climbed down on his own. He was arrested without further incident.
Was Billie Eilish freed?
No word on
Okay.
Billie Eilish if she's still being held in bondage or not. I do not know. All right, and then finally, we'll end with this. In Georgia, an investigation is underway after a man reportedly stopped and blocked a school bus full of children demanding to know the name and address of a child who raised her middle finger to his wife.
Wow.
Now, I've wanted to do this.
Yeah.
But I would never do this type of thing.
You kind of have to let it go.
55-year-old Roger O'Neill Barrett called the county sheriff's office asking for help with traffic so that he could transfer cattle across the road. Before the deputy arrived, Barrett had allegedly stopped a school bus in the area and parked his truck so that the bus could not continue its route. He claims the student on board the bus flashed an obscene hand gesture toward his wife and child, and he demanded the student's information.
How old are these kids? High school?
I don't know. It just says children.
All right.
And it was, I don't know the name of the school.
All right. So, flips the bird to the wife.
While deputies were on the way, there was a heated verbal argument between Barrett and the parents arriving on the scene. Barrett left the scene before the officers arrived. A portion of the incident was caught on video and shared on Facebook by the Scarlett Grace Rutherford, by a woman named Scarlett Grace Rutherford on Monday. The 95-second video shows a woman who appears to be a parent arguing with the man. She said, the man blocked my kid's bus today. About 20-plus students on the bus and would not move until he got the name and address of the kid who flipped off his wife. You better believe me and a bunch of the other parents showed up to get their kids safely off the bus, properly equipped for this type of psycho.
I wonder how she feels.
Roger O'Neill Barrett was arrested and charged with disruption or interference with operation of public schools. So they hauled him in. And that is the last story that I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right. We remind you that you have about roughly 3 minutes left. You got to enter the word START, and that's for MMR's concert cash giveaway. So the word is START, S-T-A-R-T, through WMMR.com, the MMR app, or you can text it to 45911, by the way. So we have a guest who is here. We have some music to bring him on. Thank you. And I think you know what that means, but we're going to welcome, before we reveal all the information, our friend Scott Keenan.
Hey!
From Keenan's of North Wildwood. Keenan's Irish Pub. How you doing, Scott?
Great, guys. How are you?
We're wonderful. Nice to see you, man.
It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it?
Yeah, here we are again.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it's the best of reasons when we see you because we know what's around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Less than a month, right?
Yep. We're getting ready for, again, the Preston and Steve live broadcast from Keenan's, the official opening of the Jersey Shore. And this year it's taking place on May 26th, that Friday into Memorial Day weekend.
It wouldn't be the same without it. So, it's so cool to see you here. Now that do you officially now own all of Wildwood? Is that the case? Or?
We're trying that.
Okay.
You got most of the north taken care of. So, but listen, some new things about the pub. We were just talking the other day. There's a new pizza joint that's coming in as well, right?
Yeah, we put Santucci's in there about a month ago.
Nice.
And Santucci, great corporation there. They're going to do some late night pizza for us.
Wow.
They're also going to do breakfast pizzas. They're going to start that on Saturdays and Sunday mornings.
And aren't you keeping the street? Is that now officially kind of an extension right in front of?
Yeah,
Keenan's?
the street's blocked off on Old New Jersey Avenue, but we're also still allowed to utilize our pavement. That gives us an extra 3,000 square feet for people to eat out there.
Oh, wow.
But it's the whole street there as well.
It was like last year to see people just really, digging that ability. It gives you, listen, there's no two ways about it. Keenan's gets filled in very quickly. That gives you a lot of breathing room. People are really enjoying it.
It did, especially with COVID there, opening it up. People feel a little more at ease there, not intense and indoors and things like that. So it works out really well.
Yeah, nice. Anything else new to mention about? I mean, I don't know how much more you can get.
Yeah, we always try to do new things there. On July 23rd, we're bringing Nashville to North Wildwood this year. We hired 7 bands from Nashville.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, they're going to come in. It's like a Keenan Country Palooza.
Okay.
We're going to do something a little different. And the day before that, July 22nd, is the Phillies' 30th anniversary. So a lot of guys from the 93 team are coming down that day too. But we're also honoring Darren Dalton as well. We're doing it for the Darren Dalton Foundation.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So there are just a couple of things that we're bringing there. But this is our 24th season.
24 seasons.
Yeah, you guys been with us for 18.
18.
Yeah. I remember that first year, man, and it looked way different.
We were essentially
outside
under a little bit of an awning, I guess. But yeah, we were outside, and all those years, and all of those years of you biting your nails, terrified of what we were going to do.
Yeah, I've said this before, Scott, but it's always interesting to me to come down the shore on Thursday before Memorial Day weekend, because we have to get down there Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, get set up for Friday morning, and the lights are still flashing yellow, and it's not a ghost town per se, but it's not Memorial Day weekend yet, and then you get to Keenan's on Friday morning, and people start lining up at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and like that weekend, it's visceral to see that many people there. It really feels like the beginning of the summer every year. It must feel the same way for you.
It absolutely does. It's funny you say that, because Friday morning you're like, I wonder if it's going to be as crowded as it was in previous years.
Yeah.
And before you know it, there's a line down the street, and North Wildwood cops are guiding the people in a little early.
Last year there's a couple of seconds where you're like, oh, okay. I saw a nice, robust group of people as I was coming in early. And then we're inside. Then we're setting up for the show, and then people are coming and go, you got to see it out there.
Yeah, I'm always every year. I'm like, is it gonna? Is it gonna take? Are people gonna be here? I don't know. And all of a sudden, it's just the massive party. I'll never forget an email that I got from somebody who later on that day, I think it was on Friday, sent an email, and there was somebody passed out on the front lawn. They just sent it and said, "You guys broke Wildwood. You broke it." But it's a legendary party, and we love it.
And if you've never been, make this the year you go, because it's great to have newbies down there. I think we checked last year, and there was a nice collection of people who'd never been there.
Yeah.
But it's the event where seasoned athletes who play in stadiums come in as guests on the show, and we've seen them go, oh my God, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was just talking to Kathy. I said, we're our 3rd generation customers now.
Yeah.
We have the grandparents down there that are eating the early bird special, coming in from 4 to 6. And then their kids are coming in, and they're like, oh, I'm going to have a few drinks. And then they say 10:30, 11 o'clock, they're like, oh, I got to get out of here before all the kids get in here. Meanwhile, it's their kids that are coming in. And just before you know it, the mom's dancing with the daughter at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're fortunate to have a great customer base down there.
No, it's great.
Scott, any idea, excuse me, what's going to happen the rest of that day and weekend? Or are you guys still working on filling in the bands and things like that?
Yeah, we have a great lineup. The Giuliano Brothers will be playing right afterwards.
Yes.
Outside again like they usually do. We have FM band playing that weekend as well.
Lead singer is right in the other room there. Kyle is our.
He already solicited himself.
Video guy.
But
they're great.
We have those. We have the Soul Cruisers back every Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's tradition. That weekend it's like the hurry up and wait process on it. But we're real excited about it. And like Coors Light's been great to us for 24 years. They're the sponsor of this, and they just really
they've been sponsoring it that long.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I guess every year that we've been doing it. 18 year. So this is our 18th year.
18th year.
Doing it at Keenan's.
Should we mention the dovetail anniversary?
Yeah, I think
because
so.
it's what's going to make this year extra special.
Yeah, we've been waiting to mention something about this particular broadcast, and we may as well go ahead and do it. So this year, this is marking, the 2023 is marking the 25th anniversary of the start of the Preston and Steve show. So we have been working together for 25 years. This particular program has been a partnership. So we are going to make Keenan's Irish Pub live broadcast, the opening of the Jersey Shore, the official Preston and Steve 25th anniversary party.
Yeah! Why not? Now, we weren't angling for this, but Casey made mention and noticed it, and other people were starting to notice it, and so
it makes sense.
Why not?
The timing is right.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, and we'll find out what that means. I think we're gonna try to get some special items to give away, and we'll find out who wants to show up and be a part of the broadcast and all
we'll
that.
have stupid contests that will give you a lifetime of regret.
Yep.
So come on down.
It's what we do.
And I'm imploring anybody out there who has never, who's only lived in a world with the Preston and Steve show. Do you know what I mean? So anybody like 25 years and younger, please show up. And if you're freshly turning 21, you've been hearing this party for however many years. Come show up.
Oh, last year
See
we had
for yourself.
People who were there, who had just turned 21, who had been listening basically all of their lives.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, but it's on. In case you were curious, yep, it's definitely happening. There's only one place that it goes, and that is Keenan's Irish Pub. Eggs with Peg. I need to mention that, of course.
And
that's where the whole thing started.
1 year was it last year we did pegging eggs?
We did
Pegging with eggs.
Pegging with eggs.
Pegging
with eggs.
With eggs. That was it. Yes. So, and of course, Peg is Scott's mom, who passed on a few years ago. But
memorialized on the wall there, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Nice.
And Sean and I, we tortured her pretty well.
But she raised you.
Yeah. That's what apple trees don't make bananas.
What's Keenan's official website address?
Keenan's NW.
KeenansNW.com.
Yeah, or KeenansIrishPub.com. We have a few of them there. They all attach to the same ones.
Okay.
So
it's a great. Honestly, it's such a great vibe, as Nick was mentioning, the transformation that takes place, and you guys work it. Your staff there. It's basically a little mini army making sure that people have a blast.
Yeah,
So-
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
We still have 11 originals.
Wow.
From 24 years.
Hey, I ask you this every year, but are you hiring?
Absolutely. We're always hiring, yeah.
Yeah, and people are looking for, because I know a year or two ago there used to be people that would come over, and then the pandemic put a crimp on that a little bit. So if you need employees, reach out to you.
We do. Yeah, we always do. We're actually hiring all the time. And even if we're not, our customer base, we have such a good relationship with other bars down there. So we try to give people jobs down there because they are our customers too eventually. So you want to keep them down there.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Scott. Great to see you here this morning. Scott Keenan, Keenan's Irish Pub. And you know what I'm going to do? What? I'm going to give away. Now, make sure that you are going to the live broadcast, Preston Steve's official opening of the Jersey Shore. I have a reserved booth and a cut the line pass for you and 3 guests at our Memorial Day weekend kickoff broadcast. And we'll give you a bucket of Coors Light for your table as well, and a case of Coors Light for your beach house.
Nice.
And we'll take caller number 22.
Excellent.
At 215-263-WMMR. It is from Coors Light, made to chill at the Jersey Shore. So we'll set you up right now. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second because Anthony Gargano stopping in, talk about the draft. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston Steve
On 93.3 WMMR. Your smart speaker and settle arguments. Tell you the way.
Yeah. There's stretch marks for us.
Yeah, put it in a spot that's not, put it like on your gut or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
something that's not going to expand or contract over time.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Talk about a tattoo that has some meaning.
Yeah.
And that can be converted to the audio is very cool. Even still, just a visual representation of your loved one's voice.
I just don't understand how that works, how it's their actual voice and not, do you know what I mean? Like,
because the waveform is now it may be what happens is, I don't know the specifics. In the perfect scenario, the waveform represents exactly all the tonal aspects of what it's representing. However, maybe what it does is the app plays it back through a stored recording that matches that waveform.
Let's find out. I'm looking it up right now.
Because it almost seems...
Where are my cookies?
Yeah, it almost seems impossible. And yeah, you want them, the waveform to sit in their bed.
Right, yeah.
I have to piss.
It's great hearing him again.
You don't want me dead. Okay, you can have my money, you blood-sucking bastards.
I also like to look at animated feature film because we watch a lot of animated movies in my house. The Boss Baby. Nick, you liked that, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
I saw it. It's funny. It's funny for adults.
Yeah.
The Breadwinner.
Oh, is that one of those lame ones?
And from Czechoslovakia, the breadwinner.
I didn't know you spoke Czech.
They show a clip or something. You don't even know what it is.
It's the Czech Republic now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the cashier's
But
Czech
Steve's
Republic.
right. This is a headstrong young girl from Afghanistan. She disguises herself as a boy and blah, blah, blah.
All right, the breadwinner.
Because she wants to learn and then go to school and go to college and have a life. Shut up.
Okay.
Kathy, Coco's on here.
Yay, that was so good. I loved it.
That was so good.
I like two chickens to Coco, please.
Is that really how it sounds?
Two chickens to Coco. I think you need the photosensitive screening.
It's fine. I hate myself.
I like Coco.
So Coco's on there.
It was very good.
Ferdinand, which none of us have seen.
It's John Cena doing the voice of the Ferdinand the Bull.
I would like to see that. And then Loving Vincent. That's got to be another one of those, right?
Yep.
From Romania, Loving Vincent.
Get that bear.
It's about Vincent Van Gogh?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like our great cartoon.
Boring.
Yeah. Maybe one of the guys from The Bachelor would be there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love you. I cut my ear off.
Saoirse Ronan's in that too.
He has a talking cat.
I love it.
Oh, this is rotoscoped. So the process of rotoscoping is taking live film and coloring it in.
Oh.
It's not even animation. Shut up.
All right, stop me on a category that you care about. All right, foreign language film editing, production design, costume design.
Ooh.
She's back.
Ooh. I say Coco.
All right, here we go. Beauty and the Beast.
You know what?
They had great outfits in there.
I was a sucker for that. But did you see it?
I didn't see it. No,
Kathy,
I didn't see it.
I was not, I wouldn't say I was resisting it, but I'm like, how are they going to improve on the original French version?
Right.
And then the animated version? They did a great job.
All right, so this is a costume design. Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, L, why does it have an L there? It's The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Elvis.
No, it was L, The Shape of Water.
Okay.
And Victoria and Abdul. I don't know that one.
That's the Queen Victoria goes to like
right.
Iran or something.
Okay. Makeup and hairstyling.
Nah.
Original score.
Yes, yes.
And,
Michael Giacchino.
Michael Giacchino has anything on here. I don't know.
He did Coco.
Coco. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Preston and Steve Show in Philadelphia, Kathy Romano. The world of animation is a wonderful world.
All right. Here are the original score. Dunkirk. Lisa Marie Presley.
Wow.
Lisa Marie turns 50 years old.
That's right. That's little Lisa Marie.
Yeah, little.
It's okay. It's okay. She's 14.
Well, it was a different time.
It was a different time, man, when you could date a 14-year-old and have sex with a monkey in the room.
Well, this is his daughter. This is the king's daughter, Lisa Marie, not Scylla.
Scylla, yeah.
So
I get them all confused.
I know. But she is, she's turning 50 years old today, so it's a big one for her.
Now, she was married to Michael Jackson and Randy Keough.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's Randy Keough?
I think
Danny,
that's
guy or
Danny Keough.
Danny Keough.
Yeah, and then she was also married to Nicolas Cage, and then she was married to a guy named Michael Lockwood, and
it's a whole morass of stuff.
Currently single.
She participated in probably one of the most awkward kisses ever televised, which was the MTV. And he said it wouldn't last. Look, I'm hetero.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
Look, I can kiss chicks. All right, here we go.
Let's just count down.
It took every bit of effort.
Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I did it.
Oh, Jesus. That's what's going through his head.
Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy, your little boy. Your little... I did it.
You donked it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh,
They said it wouldn't last. In your face.
I'm a little boy forever.
Has she ever said anything?
She says, she actually says it was a good relationship, like a regular relationship. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's how he powers through.
Your little boy, your little boy.
All right, here you go. Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy, your little boy.
All right, Jesus.
It's like when we were eating the surströmming.
Yeah, you're like,
all right.
This is prime rib. This is prime rib.
Man, there's only one Waterbed store in New Jersey. And they have, I'm looking up the pricing, but it's conveniently located near Route 1 and 287.
That's when you call him.
Yes, hello?
It's close to
Yes, hello? What? Oh, it's a pizza place. You got the wrong number.
Hang on, let me.
What message is it? Yes, hello, can I help you? Yes, Blue Night. Yes, we have them. And we're open.
It's like,
yes, hello?
I don't think I've ever heard you yell into that filtered microphone for.
Go ahead, kid.
He's looking for it. Hang on a second.
Yes, hello? Yes, Waterbeds, we have them. Waterbeds, hello? You're the receiver.
Falling on the floor.
Yes, hello?
Wait a minute. Do it with the receiver.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Yes, hello? Yes, Waterbeds, we got them.
I don't know. That's got to be a lonely gig.
I grew up, where in St. Louis there was a place called the Waterbed Store, and it was they had several locations around the city and everything.
Yes, hello? Yeah, who is it? What? No, wrong number.
Damn it. They sell them on Amazon.
Please, Dan, please. Yes, we're open. You just say, I'll come to you.
Is this the Waterbed Store?
Don't even drive here. I'll come to you. Where are you?
Jim, I'm gonna go to Jim. Uses a waterbed still. Hey, Jim, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I own a waterbed. I use it every night.
Oh, no, we're talking about waterbeds, not waterbeds.
Different product.
Different product.
What
now,
is
Jim,
that?
how long have you had it?
20 years.
Yeah, Jim, is that you? You want to buy another one? Jim!
I had to buy another one about 3 years ago and had to order it from California.
Okay.
Jim, is that you? Jim!
He's the last waterbed owner.
Jim, is that you? Jim!
By the way, here's a text that says Jordan Woods is her best friend. How do you report on them all the time and not know this? I don't pay attention to
Yes, of
reports.
course.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this
I
is
just
all-
report this stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Our goal is to not retain any of
At
this.
6:58, we have forgotten everything about the job.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it should
Well,
be.
Jordan Woods was never, ever spoken on this show.
What?
No, I don't know the name Jordan Woods either.
I'm sure at some time or another. We'll
If
probably
I
say.
have, I think through therapy, I was able to forget it.
But anyhow, as Kylie's baby news took over the internet, her mom, Chris, was whooping it up
Jesus Christ.
at Chrissy Teigen and John Legend's house.
Stop it.
And they were watching the Super Bowl. But it looks like, hold on, it looks like Jenner may have had too much fun. Teigen shared a shot of a broken table on Snapchat explaining that Jenner crashed into it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Kris Jenner smashed into the table, apparently, and took it out while
Oh no, that's my favorite table.
that's while she was
It's
whooping,
Shelbyville, isn't it?
whooping it up. Our next guest is an accomplished writer and director. A couple little things you may have heard of before, like Loopers and Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And we you want me to play his case? There you go. Need a fanfare when we bring somebody on board. But he is here to promote the film Knives Out, which is star-studded, looks really, really cool. Please welcome writer and director Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great, Preston. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We're excited about this.
Tremendous.
Yeah,
We're from 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kath. I think we have a guest ready to go. Who's Anthony Gargano? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Anthony Gargano. Our good friend from The Fanatic. Cuz. Morning, man. How you doing, bud?
Good, my brother. I miss you, Press. I miss all you guys, man.
Miss you too, and we loved our time. I was just reminiscing about the little field trip that you and Casey and Jackie and Kyle took not that long ago, man. It was so much fun. We have to find a reason to do that again down the road, you know?
I would love it, man. I still talk about it. It was the greatest, man.
Nice.
I just hang with those guys and you guys every morning. I loved it.
Thanks, bub. So, Anthony, watching last night in preparation for the draft, and we've talked about this before. It keeps getting, it's increasing at outlandish levels. Like it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's almost, to me, it's almost laughable. I get the excitement around it. Now, I'm not like you guys and Casey and and Preston's on my level. We're tied in, but we don't live and die by it. But now with concerts and parties,
separate parties for each team.
People are planning
mini
trips.
Super Bowl.
People are planning trips there.
The red carpet, the fashion, and all this stuff. Now it's like, at what point does it level off or even die back a little bit?
Yeah, it's insane, guys. I know you guys aren't doing mocks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's absurd. Although I have to tell you, I had the sweetest woman yesterday. It was a woman and her 2 kids from Philadelphia, and they were driving. She was driving. Her kids were like 13 and 6, a boy and a girl, and they were driving to Kansas City to go to the draft.
Hey, you and I drove to Kansas City. Remember that?
I said, listen, here's what you got to do, and this is what you got to do. But it's amazing that the draft has become this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a meat market. It's what it is, right? You're picking guys, and it's a party. I guess it's like following fantasy football.
That's it.
So it's like we have these draft parties, so that's what it is.
So for throughout the years, Casey would playing his fantasy league and Kathy's husband. This was a cool thing. Okay, getting some early intel on how things might break and so on and so forth. But now, as Kathy was saying, and the level of traveling and all of the characteristics of a Super Bowl. As far away from the Super Bowl in terms of timing, chronology as you can get. Once money's made on something like this, and once it's tied in, we're not going to see it get any smaller. And do you think there's every possibility it will keep increasing?
Yeah, and look, it's funny, Philadelphia played a role in this thing.
Yes.
Because when we had the draft, it was like a 3-day, it was like Coachella, right? Meets football. And we remember the art museum and the spillover all on the Parkway. And it was this beautiful thing. And I was told that the way Philadelphia embraced the draft, had the league office's attention and said, we got to make this thing a traveling party. And it's become, like you said, it's a circus. It's nuts. I mean, it's crazy. And it's 4 days. And after the first round, how many people really, I'm talking football fans, really know who the players are after the first day? And even at the end of the first round.
Right.
Yeah, not me. And listen, I love professional football, but I have to say, and admit, I don't know college football, right? So for like the past couple of months, I haven't even really been brushing up, but I'm just looking at possible players that the Eagles might end up with. I'm like, okay, let me look at the highlight reel for Bijan Robinson, right? Because up until a few months ago, never even heard of that guy, right? Even though he was like the top running back in the NFL, never even heard of him. Jalen Carter, didn't really know much about him either. And so like now I'm looking these guys up and I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on here. And I love this night. And for the past however many years, and probably decade plus, my brother and I get together on draft night, on night number 1. And
then you just connect. So night number 1's for you has been the money shot.
No, I don't disconnect. I stay on my Score mobile app and I follow the draft for the rest of the weekend.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen here is the Eagles have a pick, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, maybe 1 in the fourth, and then they don't pick again until the 7th round. So I will be able to disconnect for a little while because they won't have a pick for a while.
Yeah, they only have 6 picks in this draft, so it's a little light, which means they could trade. But just get back to the point, guys. It's a party. I just think, at this point in the calendar, we're just looking for something to have fun and drink beers and, do a draft shot game. Like, I think that's the biggest allure of it. I love it, but I'm a football nerd.
Yeah.
But I watch college football. But let's face it, people just want to get together and hang out and party, which actually makes it cool.
So Casey mentioned a few names, and I was watching a story last night on Jalen Carter, and they played no contest. He was involved in an accident where 2 people died. Is the perspective that will make him a no-go, or do you think the Eagles are going to go after him hard?
Well, it's a great question because I think he's going to wind up going before the Eagles pick at 10. He's probably the top third, like a top 3 player in all of college football. The thing is, he's got such an amazing skill set.
Yeah.
But people think the kid isn't grown up yet. That there's a lot of issues around him, not just from that incident, but it's how he reacted to that incident, which makes things even sketchy.
Okay.
In the end, I think he'll be gone before the Eagles have to make that decision.
Yeah. So what really bummed me out about how the Super Bowl ended back in February was the fact that I know how hard it is to get back there. Right? Just the grind and just all the variables that can either go wrong or go right for you in order for you to get back there or not get back there. And so what I love about the draft is this is like the replenishing of, right? It's
yeah.
Who are, and the fact that we have 2 guys in the first round, so we're going to get 2 of, what potentially the top 30 players in all of college football. And they're going to be the people that we're going to be able to root for the next however many years. And so that's what's exciting about this. You get because after the season's over, you're going to lose some players. Some guy, like Hargraves, losing him was rough. But but then you also gain some players. You're like, okay, who's our new squad going to be?
Right,
Right. But let me ask. So, Anthony, with this case, we have a team that's really proven that they have the chops. There's not a tremendous amount of tweaking that needs to take place. What for you is better? I mean, obviously you want a winning team, but when you're say really sort of scraping for every player you can get, is that more interesting and more fun when it comes to the draft, or is the tweaking more fun?
Well, I think when you have a top 10 pick,
that's
the most fun for the draft. We actually are blessed because we have a team that's a Super Bowl ready team and they're picking 10th. 2 picks. I was talking with some NFL people, and the Eagles are the team that everybody's looking at that can really put their stamp on this draft. So at 10, it's weird. Everything goes from the quarterbacks. There's 4 really good quarterbacks. 3 are going to go in the top 10. If the 4th quarterback is there at 10, the Eagles would be able to trade out to somebody that needs that quarterback and get multiple picks. Now, what we want, and Casey Boyd mentioned him, running back Bijan Robinson. Now, Bijan, and you guys will love this, has his own mustard. All right?
I like that. Why not? He should have his own dog, too, a Bijan Frise.
And this kid is the best running back. Now, we lost Miles Sanders, all right? They got a guy named Rashad Penny from Seattle, but the Eagles could use a really good running back. And if you add this kid from Texas, Bijan Robinson, to this team, the offense becomes unstoppable. So that's who I want. I want to walk away with Bijan at number 10. And he wants to come to Philadelphia. He's been talking up the Eagles. And look, Bijan and a Philly pretzel, nothing goes better than that.
Yeah. I just saw a mock draft that had him going 8 to the Falcons, which I think would break my heart. And also that mock draft, we ended up with Jalen Carter. So I'm like, okay, I could, we lose one and we gain another. But your boy, Jamie Lynch, He wants the wide receiver out of Ohio State. He wants that guy with the 10th pick.
Yeah, they're not taking a receiver. That's I love Jamie, but that's not happening. It's either they're going to take an offensive lineman. There's a kid from Northwestern by the name of Skoronski. So remember that name. Or one of the corners. There's a cornerback by the name of Witherspoon from Illinois.
Yep.
Or, and people are saying, no, it's not Howie's move to take Bijan. I think he's in play. Remember, you just signed your quarterback to this kind of deal.
Yeah.
He has been getting dinged every December. He's been getting hurt, right? He's been running the ball too much. So protect him with a running back. Yeah. Protect him, and let's go all in on offense.
Yeah. All right. So I'm an idiot. Okay, you know this. And Casey, you guys have mentioned mock twice here. Mock. Yeah. You've mentioned this.
I need you to stop talking and listen to me.
That's the right one. You said. Okay, let me get this right.
Okay,
so people do a pretend draft.
Yes.
To see the potential outcomes.
So somebody like Mel Kiper, who
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. 25 years ago, didn't exist in this world. And now he is like the guy who has made a name for himself because he does these mock drafts. What he does, Press, is he goes through the entire draft and he goes, this is who I think this team either could or should take. Right. Okay. And so it's just a way of going like,
but there's
it's
a million different outcomes.
Oh my God.
So it's like a chess match. There are a gazillion different, literally, mathematically, there are loads of different outcomes.
Yes.
Is this guy ever been spot on right? Once in a gazillion years, somebody will get the NCAA.
As a matter of fact, I don't know why this guy even has like the clout that he does. Anthony, do you even know of all the mock drafters, who is the most accurate?
Maybe Daniel Jeremiah is pretty good, but I mean, we all have the same. I do these stupid pretend drafts. Here, guys, this is something impressive. Imagine this. You can bet on this stuff.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
In New Jersey.
Bet on mock drafts?
Yeah.
You can bet on this draft.
On the draft, yeah.
There was a Reddit post 2 days ago where they said this quarterback from Kentucky was going to go number 1, and his odds shot up. They had the sports books shut down for like an hour because they were afraid that some inside information by this Reddit user was out in the public. It was wild. It's like amazing. It's crazy.
So it's funny because I'm not as dialed in on this stuff, but I am fascinated with the culture surrounding it.
Yeah.
And when something like this, even I'm sitting there on the couch last night and going, Jesus Christ, you would think this was the Super Bowl with all this prep. Everyone's there sending out their sports reporters and all this stuff. So at a certain point when you're trying to send a message to your players to keep a level head and don't get caught up in the pomp and circumstance, and your first foray into professional sports is this, it seems to be a contradiction, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. And the other thing, Steve, is that there's all these smoke screens that are out there.
Yeah.
So they'll poison a kid, make up things about a kid. They'll make up trades and interest in teams that affect. It's unbelievable, all the cloud cover that comes in this week of the draft.
Yeah, you can't trust anything that you see on social media.
It needs to get as honest as politics.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you. Yeah. It really is. Ann, what is your dream and your nightmare scenarios for tonight?
So my dream is you trade back, you get extra picks, and you're able to take Bijan Robinson somewhere in the teens, and then you're able to stockpile draft picks for the rest of this draft, like it's did. And the nightmare is you give me an offensive lineman that at 10, and I don't know if it's a nightmare, but it could be Paris Campbell, it could be somebody, it could be Paris Johnson, it could be somebody like that where you got to wait a year. And it's not really bad, Skoronski, where you get an O-lineman, and they're like toys. Like draft picks are like toys. And when you take a lineman that's not going to play till next year, it's like you can't open your gift.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, it gets underway, and it's the next several days. What, 4 days?
Yeah.
4 days.
So,
round
1.
Come on, Press. Let's go, man. We'll get some
Let's go.
You and Preston.
Yeah, man. If anybody could bring me around, it would be Cuz.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, brother. We love it. We love you. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon. Of course, you can listen to Anthony middays on the Fanatic 97.5, our sister station right down the hall here. Although appearing from home right now,
Right.
Is Anthony Gargano. A little Achilles issue, right?
Yeah, I'm on the DL right now. So I'm bending.
All right,
Love
man.
you guys.
Love you, buddy.
too, man.
All right, we'll see you. Anthony Gargano, guys. Bringing us all the hype and prep for NFL draft, and it starts tonight in Kansas City, by the way. So we do have a guest who's coming up, but Marissa's gesturing, maybe. I don't know. Yes,
is that
she's
right?
nodding and
She's clapping her hands.
She's doing her index finger through her circled other fingers.
Is she doing that? Okay. No, we're getting ready to go to a phone call here, and I need to wait till she gets him on hold, or her, or whoever happens to be there, and we can find out what this is all about. I wonder what this is all about. All right. So it does happen to be Elizabeth that we're speaking to. Hi there, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hey, it's great to talk to you. Gadzooks, how you doing?
Okay.
All right. Just okay?
Well, I am wonderful now since I just won $1,000.
Elizabeth is a winner with MMR's Concert Cash. That means, like she said, she gets $1,000 and also 2 tickets to the Barbecue on September 16th. So how about that, Elizabeth? Have you gone to the Barbecue before?
No, this will be my first time.
I love it. We're giving so many people who haven't been yet tickets a chance to experience this event that we love putting on every single year.
Yeah.
And we'll add Elizabeth's name to it. Where are you from, Elizabeth?
I'm from Bridgeton, New Jersey.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jersey Gal, for listening, and congratulations for being a winner with MMR's Concert Cash.
Thank you.
All right, there's Elizabeth. Your next chance to win is coming up at 10 a.m., not too far away. We're going to take a break, come back in a second. Rita Rudner will be on the show with us when we get back. Stay there.
Preston and Steve.
93.3 WMMR.
And in the vein of 12 Little Indians, Murder on the Orient Express, the Hitchcock, that sort of stuff. And when they're done well, there's nothing like them. They just totally bring you in.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite genres, man. Like, I grew up reading Agatha Christie's books. I grew up reading like the movies based on them, and it's so much like everybody loves a good murder mystery, like a good whodunit, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And what also is one of the few that allows for great ensemble work.
Yes. Yeah. You got like a rogues gallery of suspects.
Yeah.
The idea with this movie was, let's do a star-studded cast. It's kind of like old school like that. Let's have it be so like everyone who pops up on screen, you're like, oh, it's that person.
Yeah, let me rattle off the names, okay, for those who may not be familiar. Christopher Plummer, Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, who's been doing some great stuff.
The Watchmen.
Yeah. Frank Oz, even.
Yeah, we got Frank in there.
Awesome.
Christopher Plummer.
The
great Christopher Plummer.
The legend, yeah.
And it's exactly, also you get a chance to, with a cast like that, and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, I remember when I first saw the original Murder on the Orient Express, and that actually got me reading Agatha Christie. You can high concept characters a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They're just on the verge of caricature. You can really, and that's the thing with this. It's a fun movie, and the cast, all of these stars, they just showed up ready to play. They're having a blast,
I love Daniel Craig. And Chris Evans looks to be.
He's playing a jerk. He's playing a real jerk.
And savoring. Everyone seems to say Michael Shannon is super intense, and yet he gets to.
Oh, he's having fun. Daniel Craig. If you just know him from the Bond movies, you would think he's a really serious, intense guy. He is so much fun in real life. He's like a blast, and he's having a ball in this movie.
So what's it like? I would imagine you have scenes where everybody's in it at the same time.
Those are my favorite ones.
What's that got to be like? That where in between takes where these people are just kind of it's got to be fun.
It was a party, man.
Yeah.
And also, we shot in a house in Massachusetts. It's like in a murder mystery mansion, but we were in like a real house. And so everyone liked each other, and in between takes, people wouldn't like go back to their trailers and get on their cell phones. They would all go down in the basement of this house, like like around the pool table and hang out.
Exactly what you want.
It was like summer camp for movie stars. It was great. It was really fun. So, and I think you can see on screen how much fun everyone was having.
The conceit is a celebrated writer, 85 years old, I guess. He's having a birthday. The family's a little disenfranchised. He wants to bring them together, reunite them. And in classic fashion, he ends up dead.
Yep.
And and then you have your but all the tropes that should be there are there. You know.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, it's very traditional. Yeah, exactly. But then it also throws some curveballs at you. And the big thing it does, a lot of times when you see Agatha Christie adaptations, I mean, I love them dearly, but they're period pieces.
Yeah.
This is set today. It's modern. I love that. And all the characters are modern types, and so it's very much updated for 2019.
And you're inherently you have a good sense of humor, and you see it permeate all your work. And I think a lot of times people forget that the original Agatha Christie stuff and the original Hitchcock always had a sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
I remember there's a scene in Frenzy, the movie Frenzy, where they're sitting having a meal, and the meal is supposed to be analogous to the, and it's just funny, and all that stuff works, and that makes it even more, to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and Poirot, Christie's Detective Poirot. When Peter Ustinov, he's my favorite Poirot.
I think you're right.
Back in the day, and he got the clownishness of him.
I think Albert Finney was a little hard to understand.
I love him. He's going all out, man. But I mean, I think Branagh's Poirot is terrific.
Yeah.
But Ustinov and David Suchet is terrific. Ustinov is my favorite, though. And there's something funny about they're having fun with these characters.
Oh yeah.
Well, Steve had mentioned a movie the other day that I loved, and I run into very few people who remember it, but was Murder by Death. Do you remember?
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Such a hilarious movie. Now it's a little more slapstick,
Yeah. Neil Simon wrote it. It's like it's more like Clue. It's more like a parody.
Right, and he was a fan. He was a fan of that. So your one of your works, which I love, is Brick, which is everyone always says a Dashiell Hammett sort of vibe to it, with the sharp dialogue and everything. I mean, this is great stuff that doesn't get exercised a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to go back. I mean, I don't know. These are genres that I grew up just like loving, And so the idea is to get the essential pleasure of what everyone loves about them, but then, hopefully throw some stuff at you that you haven't seen in them before too. So it feels a little, feels like you are also on a ride and you're not quite sure what's going to happen next.
And the story written by you?
Yeah.
And so this is a completely original?
Yeah, this is an original whodunit, yeah.
Okay, so do you start at the end and work your way back?
I start way zoomed back. I start just thinking about the shape of the whole thing.
Okay.
But I need to have that. I need to have the whole thing. I couldn't start writing at the beginning and find my way through. I need to have the whole shape in my head before I sit down.
I think you would have to. And there's a certain, the people who have done it the best, I think, approach it that way.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to keep tagging things on,
Yeah, and
MacGuffins and all that.
Well, when you get to the end of a good murder mystery, and you have the scene, one of my favorite types of scenes in all of fiction, where the detective lays the whole thing out, like in the library.
Yes,
which we have a really good one of those. It's like, and with that, you have to have laid the groundwork, because it's only satisfying if you feel like, oh yeah, that thing. Oh yeah, if you recognize each of them and it's paying something off.
Did you have someone fact check and make sure that what you did was legitimate?
You know who was the best at that on set? Chris Evans. He would bust my balls, man. He would come up between every take and like, I was just noticed this, and then every time my heart would clench up because I was like, oh no, he caught me, and then I realized, oh no, it's because of this, and I would explain to him. I got away with it with him.
That's a sign of a good mystery, because
you gotta check out.
Wait a minute, and no, you know what I mean?
Out.
Yeah.
I love it, and the critical response has been sensational. And that's got to make you feel good when you invest time in something you love. Not that it's everything, but it's something.
I'll tell you, the bigger thing is, this is like a movie to be seen with an audience, and the audience it's been playing really well. It's been, it gets big laughs, and then people are enjoying it. That to me is what's fun. So I'm psyched to show it tonight.
Allow me to quote the Hollywood Reporter, which says, an ingeniously plotted, tremendously entertaining, and deviously irreverent crowd pleaser.
Well, that's
that's what you want.
So it is playing tonight at the Philadelphia Film Festival. Do you know if there's any tickets available?
I don't know. I think I just saw a tweet that they had released a few more, so you might want to check their website and see.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia.org.
Opening for Thanksgiving. If you can't get, and that's those they wheel out what they believe to be the heavy hitters. For that, and so obviously. Relatively speaking, you're a younger filmmaker.
God bless you, sir.
with the body of work, but. You know, so obviously we're going to talk about the stuff and the Star Wars, you know, universe that you're now in, and now you have your own trilogy that you're responsible for that has been in this. If I'm not correct, tell me, so I can start weeping. But I think you have this potential, this new universe that you can create from the ground up. That's in the same environment but removed.
Yeah. That's what's really exciting moving forward because they've said with episode 9 that JJ is doing right now, which I'm so excited for. I cannot wait.
It looks phenomenal.
Oh God, that trailer just knocked me out. So I mean, that's going to be. They've said over and over, this is going to be the end of kind of this era of the movies.
And I think it's time. Honestly, I love. And I love even the second trilogy, the Lucas trilogy. Certainly, there are issues. Perhaps you've heard some of the buzz about what fans think. I think I commend you for taking on something like that because you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I
love the fans so much. I am a fan. That's the thing. I grew up as a Star Wars fan, and so all of the passion for it. I was in my 20s when the prequels came out, so both sides of the passion for Star Wars I've been plugged into always, and that's what's great about it. You know?
I commend you for agreeing to do it, like. Because you're such a fan, you're like, was there ever a thought of like, no, I can't do this?
No, I don't. I mean, it's just something that's so deep. I know everyone is a Star Wars fan who like when those first movies came out. If you're like my age, like you saw them when you were like 5 and 6. It's so deep in your bones. It's something you love so dearly. And also the people who make these movies, and the producers and everything, and the talent. They're just the best people on the planet, and everyone is just working from such a pure place of love for what this thing is, you know. And so, no, man, I couldn't, you know.
You had to. You had to let that purity guide. You know, at least you could have control over it.
The only thing you can do, exactly, is just follow kind of what you want to do.
So I want to ask you about ownership of movies because people take the Star Wars universe very seriously, and I'm a Star Wars nerd through and through. But people also confuse opinions and facts all the time, and it bothers me because if you have an opinion on a movie, that's not necessarily a fact about that movie, but people state them as if they are.
Yeah.
And I loved Last Jedi. There were so many layers to it that I think people are misunderstood or they walked out of the theater with an opinion, and it's fine for them to have their opinion too. But what's your take on blowback or criticism or whatever? Does it bother you? Does it stick with you, or how do you interpret it?
Well, like I said, I got to come at it from again the perspective of being a Star Wars fan my whole life and realizing that the passion for it, there are two sides to that. You know, the passion's going to land one way for some, and if you don't like something, that passion's going to apply back the other way, and there's no use. There's no, you can't have one without the other, I guess. You know, people feel strongly about this stuff because they care about it so deeply. And people are going to respond to different things. Every fan is looking for something slightly different from a Star Wars movie. There's nothing that's going to...
And that's the general... I was in the theater on opening night for the original Star Wars because I'm an old bastard. and I'd read the paperback book that was that before the movie came out, that had scenes that were not even shot for the movie. It's from Lucas's screenplay. And the movie was always intended to be a fun homage to the movie serials.
Yeah, it's Buck Rogers.
And that's it.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be loving and fun.
Yeah.
But then as its own myth almost started to weigh it down, and people lost sight of just go have a good time.
Well, also, but the thing is, though, I feel like there is always an element because it was that, but then, you know, with Empire, it dug a little bit deeper into the mythic stuff.
And that's one of the, you know.
That was a fish hook that like, got us all, you know. Empire really shook it up from A New Hope in every single way. I mean, not just the big I am your father twist, but tonally and also in terms of how deep it went, in terms of digging into that kind of deeper mythological stuff, you know, the psychological stuff. So
and a classic second act.
Oh my God,
it doesn't 100%. End happy,
and really turns everything up onto its head, and then in a way that can be really satisfyingly resolved in the third one. Yeah. You see where I'm going with that?
Yes. Well, you did some things in this movie that that we hadn't seen in any of the previous 7 movies, I should say. And one of them was using light speed as a weapon.
Yeah. Although the first, I mean, in A New Hope, the first time they talk about Lightspeed, what's the context they're talking about? And they're talking about you got to do your calculations right, or you'll run into something, and then it'll be a big mess.
But the blowback on that, and the fans were like,
but I never quite understood that, because the thing is, that was the context that it was introduced in. So it's not like it physically can't happen. So the only argument I've really heard is we don't want to think about the fact that it can happen, because that complicates how we have to think about war in this world.
You would have to make calculations, and you had like shields and things exactly for that. But I mean, it's your toy. You run with it. It's like because no. So the 8-foot talking carpet, that's real. Relax.
I mean, it has to make sense within the context of the world.
And
but I feel like that I can stand behind.
No, it was a mother effer of a scene.
Yeah, that scene. Come on.
The effects and all. It was great.
Speaking of fans, real quick, and I know you guys all have questions. Everybody's got their hands raised here. But now, I haven't gone back and watched The Last Jedi in a little while. But is that I think fans had a bunch of fun with the fight scene where Kylo and Rey, you know what I'm talking about? They used the different pieces of music. Did you happen to see those?
Yeah, that was really fun. Everyone started remixing it to different songs.
Our own Nick Murphy, who I introduced you to, he did a whole...
he did like a dozen of them.
He did a whole album. Some funny ones and some other ones that tonally absolutely made sense.
I love it.
I think he might have even used Firework from Katy Perry.
That's great. That's great.
I totally see that. Yeah, that's a blast, man.
You got to love that fans are having
Well, that's what... I mean, they take it and they make it their own, whether it's that or fan fiction or fan art, or people just take this stuff so personally. That's what's great about it.
In A New Hope, Luke meets Leia via a hologram, and in The Last Jedi, Luke says goodbye to Leia via a hologram. Was that your idea?
Yeah, man. The symmetry. You're always looking for symmetry. Wow. If you can hit that sweet spot with symmetry, so that even if you don't, the first time you watch a movie, you aren't thinking of it in those terms. When you step back and take a look at the whole thing laid out, you're like, oh, this rhymes with this, and it bookends this. Especially with something like Star Wars, you're always searching for those, those things to lay in there.
Thank you for answering questions about it, because I know you're here to talk about Knives Out, and I can't wait to see that movie as well. But while we have a director of one of the Star Wars movies in the studio,
about Star Wars.
We lavish love on Knives Out as well. But I also have to ask you, Looper is an amazing film, and it also speaks to your ability to add. Remember watching that and go, wow, this is a really cool conceit. I'm thinking of has a Harlan Ellison, Philip K. Dick sort of vibe to it. It's cool. It's jumping around. And then it gets you emotionally, too. And when you're...
93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much. Kath, we'll let you get out of here. Good luck with your ultrasound, and hope everything goes great with that. By the way, Kathy's been pregnant for like 15 years.
I know. Yeah. They used to say elephants were had the longest gestation period.
No.
Kathy
Germano. Yeah, definitely.
It's either that or when someone leaves the studio, it's because of chronic diarrhea.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
So, Rita Rudner's not on. Wait a minute.
All right.
Marissa just put up an index finger and did the stretch it out for a moment.
Oh, that wasn't an index finger.
All right. I do have something I think I can do.
Are you the time killer?
I'm the time killer right now. Yep, we just created another one. I got this lovely email. It is from Colleen Sherman, who's listening in Spain, and she starts with a quote. It says, "Sometimes we don't realize the impact that we have on others." And she's in España. I think she's in Spain.
In Barcelona?
It says, "My husband and I are newly retired, slowly traveling around the world for 18 months, and we're in our little apartment in Denia, Spain. And I have WMMR on the speakers as I prepare dinner. My husband comes in and says, 'You know what? You really should let those guys know how much you have valued their morning banter for so many years.'"
Oh, wow.
So she goes, "So here goes. I first became truly aware of your morning show when I went to wake my 15-year-old daughter up for school, and she laid there practically in tears saying, 'Preston and Steve are gone from the radio,' meaning Y100.
Right.
So there is no longer a reason to get up in the morning. And needless to say, we were all very thankful when you all reappeared on MMR. I went from listening to your often light and mostly always kind-hearted banter while I drove the kids to school, but then continued to listen as I made my way down 95 to the other children's hospital in Delaware. As a child psychologist, my days were often filled with sadness, grief, and often conflict. So listening to your morning show was a great escape from the reality of work. Fast forward 15 more years of listening. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my family all came together taking turns driving and sitting with me through chemotherapy, etc. In the car, they all knew to just turn on Preston and Steve on the ride over. Your voices, your silliness with each other, your authenticity had and continues to have such a calming effect. Currently, we are in our 4th month of traveling, and one of the ways that I stay grounded and connected to home is through streaming your program from wherever in the world we presently are.
It's amazing.
In the end, I just wanted to let you know that I am grateful for what you all bring together to the people of Philadelphia, South Jersey, and Delaware. I appreciate all of the hard work that it takes to be as successful as your morning show is, and that I value every one of you. Best, Colleen Sherman. Wasn't that nice?
That is wonderful. Wonderful.
Really
and I'm
sweet message.
glad to hear she's doing well.
Yeah, to pass along. Absolutely.
May I say something if we're
You
still in a little bit of time-killing mode here? This is a sad thing, but then a nice thing. I lost my Uncle Tyler last week, and he was battling with brain cancer, and Tyler was a great guy, a huge fan of Preston and Steve show, huge fan of MMR. If you live in Ambler, you know Dex Hardware. It's been an institution there forever. So we were really sad to lose Tyler. He was my favorite uncle. He was just a great, great guy. However, the silver lining in all of this is that his grandson was born yesterday. And so we lost Tyler last week, but yesterday Brooks William Thornton was born to Joe and Lindsay Thornton. Lindsay is my cousin. So congratulations to Jackie, my cousin, and then to Joe and Lindsay and their brother Jonathan. Brooks William Thornton born at 2:57 to Joe and Lindsay, and he's an adorable baby. So welcome to the world, Brooks William, and congratulations to Joe and Lindsay.
Wow.
All right, we're still in a circling
rut
pattern, and I want to move on to something, but real quick, you know what, Nick, I will address that thing you asked me about earlier this morning. It was in the Daily News, I believe.
Oh, right, yeah.
There is there's a cartoon that Nick had showed me. A listener sent it over, and the listener doesn't get the joke. Nick doesn't get the joke. I don't get the joke.
Steve, you are our resident comedian.
Yes.
You have a keen mind for comedy, all right?
Is it a picture?
It is, and I'll show you in 1 second.
I'll describe it to the audience. What's this comic strip?
So the Lockhorns.
Okay.
The Lockhorns?
And Steve, this person texted in, if anyone has today's Daily News handy, can you please explain the humor of today's Lockhorns? It's on page 17. So I've gone back and forth with this listener a few times. He hasn't even said his name. I'm assuming it's a he.
All right.
He says, I threw the Lockhorns question out on my Facebook friends. One possible explanation. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Right.
But here's, Steve, if you want to come over and take a look at the
All right.
cartoon.
It's
It's today's Daily News. It's the Lockhorns for Thursday, April 27th.
All right, so it shows the man who's got a strange smile on his face, looking to the wife who looks bored. He had just come out of his office, and she says, "How long did your Zoom meeting last?" And that's it.
And he's smiling.
He's smiling, and Casey was thinking maybe he rubbed one out while he was in there.
I mean, he's got like a sheepish
Grin.
smile.
Yeah.
That's,
you know?
So to be honest, that's where I first went, Case, because he's, but the Lockhorns, I don't think would have that kind of humor. It'd be like Marmaduke having an incest joke. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
be,
right.
It doesn't seem to be. So the Lockhorns, but that's really, she's it almost seems to be castigating him.
So somebody texted in their potential theory, or this was in the guy's Facebook group.
Yeah.
This might be it.
And he says one possible explanation is that the Zoom meeting lasted so long that Leroy's face froze with that grin.
That might be it. If so, then the illustration is kind of poor at showing him with a frozen smile.
No, yeah, I agree 1,000%. That is horrible, and this person needs to give up on this comic because while he intended to bring joy and laughter to people, he's only causing us stress.
Okay,
you are done, sir.
That was one of those cartoons that it was always in the newspaper, and I always
Lockhorns.
looked at it.
Like
yeah,
the Family
Lockhorns.
Circus.
Yeah, but like I don't know why it has stuck around for as long as it has. There was nothing innovative about it. The Far Side made me laugh hard. Calvin and Hobbes was funny, and then also like cute and introspective, and had life lessons in it.
There were ones that I never got. Like, do you remember the girls in Apartment 3B or whatever it was?
Don't remember that
or Dondi. Do you remember Dondi? Or Hagar the Horrible?
Remember Hagar.
Right.
Yeah. And BC and
Beetle Bailey.
Beetle Bailey.
I always liked the Lockhorns. It's just the one panel.
They were living a lie.
Yeah.
They were a loveless couple, and they were clearly getting side action that they didn't have the courage to tell each other.
Right. But no, I just enjoyed that. There was one in like I tried to. It was called Phantom. It was the only comic in the Daily Times that wasn't a funny comic.
So,
it was like action adventure.
It was based on the Phantom series. Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to read this every single day and see if I can. And I couldn't get into it.
Prince Valiant was like that.
I used to read Prince Valiant. And who was the Brenda Starr?
Yeah.
Brenda Starr was a career gal.
Right. Yeah. But they did. We talked about this, a couple of years ago. How they said Far Side was coming back. Did it come back?
I don't think Far Side actually left a couple of. In one of the syndicators, the plan was to there were so many of them, you could simply recycle them, and that was the intent.
Yeah, it stopped in 1995, and it was. I remember that happening, Casey, but I don't think it actually did come back. It was syndicated through 96 because of the amount that they had, Steve.
Right.
But they have not
They replaced it with butt nuggets, Nick.
I don't think Gary Larson has started doing new ones.
And we, I love the Family Circus, but the Family Circus was, it was like reminiscent of my family, right? The mom, the dad, you had 3 boys and 1 girl.
Right.
So like I was Jeffy, that was, so that was.
I don't remember the characters' names.
Well, I do because I was Jeffy. Jeffy was the second boy,
right?
And then my brother was the oldest, and my little brother was the youngest, and then my sister. So they were
spoke
like,
to you.
Well, yeah, and we actually had one that was like it was a framed wooden Family Circus that was hanging in our kitchen. And I think it said something like "God bless this house," and it was the mom who was cleaning up a terrible mess.
Right.
It was just pretty standard.
All right, real quick, and this is all we're going to say of it. I'm going to go to Amy here real quick. Hi, Amy.
I can't read it. There's nothing on there.
There's nothing on here.
Well, do it right.
Amy, so what's your take on this Lockhorns panel?
I think that he is looking somewhat sheepish because I think his meeting probably didn't last that long, but he stayed in his office a long time, maybe hiding from his wife.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, the reason he did that is because he was pleasuring himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Hard.
Yeah.
And in that, she knows that in his case, his quote-unquote work briefcase is where he keeps his lube.
She knows this.
Sure. I'm sure he has a special pocket for it.
I think you're right.
Thank you, Amy. Well done. All right.
Bye.
Well, anyway.
That might be it. Yeah, either maybe the duration of it. He need not have spent so much time away from his loving, chastising wife.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not funny, right?
I think it was a pretty weak attempt at a joke. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, we got a pro at jokes on the line, and she's ready to go. We were going to do Zoom. I think we're doing phone now, right? Is that the story?
I think we're doing Morse code.
I don't know what the hell we're doing. I do know that she is going to be at Live Casino tomorrow, and you can get tickets at philadelphia.livecasinohotel.com. Please welcome Rita Rudner. Good morning,
Rita. Oh, my gosh, it's like a morning party. How can you be so happy? It's too early to be this happy.
I'm on fumes right now, Rita. I'm so dead-ass tired.
I'm on very, very, very strong morning coffee right here because, it's really very difficult to be funny before dark. And especially, I became a comedian because I didn't have to be alert till 8 in the evening. So I'm going to try my best, but you were already being judgy about somebody else's joke, and I just heard the tail end of it. Who are you talking about?
It was a comic strip in a newspaper. Somebody is the Lockhorns. Somebody had texted in and showed us, and I haven't looked at comics in I don't know how long, and they were just like, I don't get the joke. I don't get the humor in this. So we were just kind of breaking it down. It was not.
It was vague.
It was very
vague.
Yes.
Well, no comic strip is funny. So that's
fair enough.
You come right to the chase.
You should have gone to the experts.
A professional comedian would know this.
It has to be so little about it has to be funny for it to be funny.
It's
See,
true.
When you're a comedian, you have to have people go ha 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 ha, or else it's not funny. But if you do a comic strip, all you have to do is go, oh, that was funny, like that.
Right. You're exactly right.
It's okay. Don't you think the standard is much lower?
No, you're absolutely right. And one thing with you, Rita, that I've always appreciated over the years is that you are you're meticulous with your stand-up. You clearly take a lot of time writing, and you are well thought of as a top writer, in the comedy world. For you, how long? I mean, you've got to work you can't stand in front of a mirror and deliver it. You've got to be in front of people. Are you very picky about when a joke is ready to roll for, say, a special or something of that nature?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because I did a really fun show last night. I'm in the woods somewhere. I looked out and there are lots of trees. So I'm somewhere in Connecticut. And it was raining very hard just now, but it's beautiful. And I went to one of those nice theaters where it's all renovated and lovely, and the audience was great. So I did an hour and 20 minutes, and everybody laughed and everything was fine. And if it's a really nice audience, and I feel that I can just be I can be vulnerable for a few minutes, I take out my phone, because Louis Anderson told me how to make notes on my phone, because he was my coach about social media. He didn't do very well, did he? Because all he did was teach me notes. But and I say, okay, I've been funny for an hour and 20 minutes, and now I'm going to try some jokes on you. And then because people come see me over and over and over, I have to keep having new jokes.
Right.
I have to keep myself interested too. So I took like around 7 minutes where I told them I read about 5 thoughts on my phone, and some of them weren't strong enough. And I got 3 that people actually laughed at that I can weave into my act. So that's kind of how I do it now.
Yeah.
Or else sometimes if it's a really strong joke, I'll try a weak joke right after it to see, because sometimes it'll hold up. It's like a mesh lining.
Right. No, I completely hear that. Yeah. And that makes total sense. And being able to try out material like that, and the audience, it's almost like a peek behind the curtain. I wanted to ask you, because I remember you being on The Tonight Show a lot with Johnny Carson, and I think I was reading an interview with you, and you talked about, and a lot of people, I think the industry obviously has changed, obviously, with the very technology you're talking about, but it used to be you had to play a club and get the talent director or coordinator for the show by happenstance to be in the audience to catch you, and there was this whole elaborate process with getting on a show like that because there weren't that many. Was that an especially brutal thing to achieve when you were trying to get on The Tonight Show?
It was impossible. In fact, I have a book that I wrote during the pandemic, my memoir, and I do a big chapter on it about trying to get on The Tonight Show. And I actually gave up because the talent booker for The Tonight Show just didn't like me. And whenever I'd come on stage, he would walk out, and he just really I don't know what, he had a chemical reaction, or it could have been an alcoholic reaction because he liked to drink.
Okay.
And maybe I made him nauseous because he'd been drinking a lot. But so finally, getting on the Tonight Show. Oh, I said those words wrong because it's early. But I was getting on stage, and Bud Friedman was and this has been years, this guy. I mean, I'd been on Letterman for years. I'd been on loads of morning shows. Afternoon, everything. It was just The Tonight Show I couldn't get on. So Alex Friedman, who was married to Bud Friedman, was a wonderful, very nice, encouraging woman. And he was sitting with Bud and Alex Friedman, this man. His name is Jim McCauley. And she said, why don't you listen to Rita? She's really funny. Why do you keep walking out? Sit down. So he sat down, and I had a great set. And then he came over and he talked to me afterwards. And I think, again, he'd had a few drinks because he said, I know you're funny. Have you ever seen Mary Lou Retton?
What?
She was, I said, yes, she's a gymnast. He said, well, she has great timing. I said, yeah, she has to balance on a 2-inch board, And he said, no, you study Mary Lou Retton. She's got the timing. I said, oh, God. So then he said, I'm going to come see you. Put this in the beginning. Put the end at the beginning at the end, in the middle, in the front. I don't know. So he said, I'm going to come see you at the Comedy and Magic Club, which is in Hermosa Beach, tomorrow night. You come. So I dutifully came, and I tried to shuffle my act. And I guess he hadn't had that much to drink that night because he said, okay, you're right. You're funny the way you did it. So I'm going to book you on The Tonight Show. This is years. That's
such a taxing thing. But you had to, because careers could be made instantly by appearing on The Tonight Show.
Well, then you know what happened? The show ran over, and I didn't get on The Tonight Show.
No. You got bumped.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So then I came in and it ran over again, and I still wasn't on The Tonight Show. So then Johnny Carson said, let's do the bump show. Let's get 3 comedians who keep getting bumped off the show. Because, comedy is the last 2.5 seconds before the show goes off the air.
Right.
And very often they run out of time. So finally got on the Tonight Show in a show called The Bump Show with Rick Scheidner, Daryl Savada, and me, and we all got to go over and sit on the couch, which was really uncomfortable, but it was a privilege because you have to sit up really straight. So they never make furniture comfortable on television because you don't want to slouch. Did you know that?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah. So and Johnny just really took a shine to me, and then I was on over and over and over and over and over, and it kind of made my career. But that's how tenuous it was, and I had given up because I said sometimes you just have to give up. I said I can't change this man's opinion. All I can do is go on with my career, get on other shows, and be funny. And then Alex Friedman came to my rescue and helped me. So that's part of comedy and part of life is just keep showing up.
It's amazing, and your stuff is great. And it was clear Johnny, really enjoyed you, and then Letterman as well, and all the other names you were mentioning. But you started originally. You wanted to be a dancer, correct?
I was a dancer. I was a dancer for 10 years on Broadway. Yeah.
Wow. And you were dancing in was it which production of Annie was it? Was it the original?
It was on Broadway, but I was a replacement in what was called the Annie Massacre because one day Martin Charnin came in and fired a whole bunch of people because he wanted to freshen up the show. So he hired me, and I was Lily St. Regis, which was a part where I was named after the hotel. Bernadette Peters did it in the movie. And it was my first big part on Broadway because I'd been in 5 Broadway shows before that. That was my 6th Broadway show. And I'd understudied, I'd stood by, I'd had little parts, but I'd never had a main part. And then I was on Broadway, and I said, I was 27. I've been doing because I moved to New York when I was 15 to be a dancer, and then I was because I had a bad home life. But anyway, who cares? Now I'm fine. And, yeah, it all worked out okay. My husband keeps saying, "Why didn't you end up in the gutter?" I said, "Well, I could still end up there." But anyway, so then I was on Broadway, and I said, I'm not going to get to be any better at this. You don't get to be a better dancer after 27. 30, it's all over. So I said, let's try a career where there's not too many women in it already. Like dancing, singing, acting, everybody was already crowded. But comedy, it wasn't very crowded for women, so that's what I did.
It's brilliant. And so you started to drop by the what clubs were in the city at that time and start to work on the craft.
Yeah, that's what I did because it was one of those. I just got in the right business at the right time because that was the start of cable, and cable television needed cheap entertainment because it was just starting out. And comedians, there was nothing cheaper than a comedian. You needed a microphone and a brick wall and a joke.
Did you?
So they started hiring comedians, and cable started getting bigger. And that's why the 80s and 90s were such a fruitful time. And I mean fruitful in a very nice sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was the gold rush.
It was bountiful.
Yeah.
And it was me and Jerry Seinfeld. They'd already been in the clubs, Jerry Seinfeld and Bill Maher. And these, because they had started. I was 10 years too late because I was already 27 or 28 when I started, and they had started right out of in their early 20s. But in that period of time, Louis Anderson and let's see, who else? There are lots of comedians.
Robert Klein was kind of established at that point, right?
Oh yeah, Robert Klein. Robert Klein and I worked together a lot. We did like 3 or 4 shows last year, and he's so nice. He's so
great.
Funny.
He's great.
Yeah. So we worked together last year, but it was just kind of Robin Williams and Billy Crystal and all those people were in the clubs in the 80s and 90s, and that was the thing to be. And I turned out that I was in the right place at the right time because very often I'm in the wrong place at the right time.
Well, you did one of the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian specials. I remember that.
Yeah, me too.
I did, and you know what, Rodney? I sold my first joke to Rodney. And then it was I couldn't say it today because it was a she's so fat joke. And you can't say fat. In fact, I have the word fat in my act now, and I've changed it to delicious because you're not allowed to say fat. So that's the big change I've had to make in my act whenever, because because I always think I'm fat because I was a ballerina. And, you have to be able to walk through a fence to be a ballerina. So I was always considered myself on a diet and too fat. But now I just say I'm delicious.
Well, it's funny because I was talking to the comedian Greg Warren, and he works clean, and you do as well. And Jerry does. And And there is these days, there's a lot of extra work that needs to go into, fashioning jokes that really work well that way, because it's easy to punch a joke with with an expletive and get a laugh, but it's a double-edged sword. Do you have people who, because they think you're that way, even though they don't know that your comedy can be very biting and is sharp, do you have a feeling that people go, well, she's a clean comic, I don't want to see her?
Yeah, but I don't care. They'll come.
You don't give a damn.
Because I'm going to be who I'm going to be no matter what. Yeah. And it just suits me. And I think people who swear can be really, really funny. Like there was nobody funnier than Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
And he was on the Rodney Dangerfield special with me. And Bob Saget was known to work a little off color. He was hysterically funny, as are a lot of people. But that's who they are, and that's natural for them. It's just not natural for me. So that one thing that people know when you're a comedian is if you come on and you're wearing a mask and you're pretending you're something you're not.
Right.
And it just always does it. If it doesn't ring true, they're not going to like it. And I have to be true to myself. So that's what I do. It's not that I'm judgmental about anybody else who does it, but I think everybody should be who they are. That's what makes comedy comedy.
Rita, you do have a history with Philadelphia. You would play here in the 1980s and an earlier portion of your career.
The comedy works. I used to take my train. I took the train up from. It was one of my first jobs. Steve Young at the Comedy Works, and I loved it. And that's when I was still dressing like a Jewish cowgirl because I would wear my fringe jackets. Because my husband was the one who said, Rita, why don't you wear a gown? Because he was a producer of comedy shows, and he hired me. And then I slept with him and we got married. And I said, it used to be a love story. Now it's a lawsuit. But we've been married for 35 years. And he's the one who said, why don't you wear something pretty? Because if people don't like the jokes, they'll like the dress.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so I started wearing gowns on my special, and it kind of became a hook, because he said, I don't want to be married to a comedian without a hook. Get a hook. So that was my hook.
Well, it worked.
I wore a dress.
Do you have any fond memories of the city of Philadelphia or anything that stands out?
Yes, I stayed in this hotel that was so interesting because it was obviously a hotel that had been renovated, and it used to be rented by the hour because it was the smallest room I'd ever been in. I really couldn't open the door fully. I had to shimmy out the door because there was a bed and a sink, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And then the bathroom, the rest of it was down the hall, and it was very, very, and when you walk on the floors and they squeak and the boards were kind of uneven, and it was really, really fun. But I always found everything like that fun. And that's what I think, if you're finding what you do fun, keep doing it. And if it's not fun, don't do it anymore. That's what I tell my daughter, but I'd also like her at some point to earn $1.
Right. Well, you mentioned your husband is Martin Bergman, and he is, as you said, he's worked in comedy, and you guys have written a couple of screenplays together. You've done your share of film work, and I have to ask if this is accurate. I don't know. And I've seen this movie many times, and I'm trying to put two and two together because it's a classic cult skateboard movie, Gleaming the Cube. Are you in Gleaming the Cube?
Yes.
Really?
Wait, what?
Yes.
What are you in?
I have 2 lines in Gleaming the Cube. Somebody saw me at a club, and that's another thing. I try to always say yes to things that I'm scared of, except for skiing. And he said, would you be in this movie? And I said, yes. And then I was in this movie, Gleaming the Cube. And I was somebody's mother. That's all I remember. And I was in a kitchen playing Scrabble or a game, and I said some things, yes. But I didn't write that. The first movie Martin and I wrote is a movie that also became a cult favorite. It's called Peter's Friend.
Yes, it's a very good movie. It's one people should see. And you guys work well together, clearly.
Well, that was really Martin's friends, because Martin went to Cambridge and had all these friends in the Footlights, which is the famous comedy club in Cambridge, and those were all of his friends that we did the movie with. So we had a little bit of an inside track to that one, because Martin and Emma Thompson grew up together in England. So we said, and they needed a script because Emma and Ken at that point were staying with us. Oh, this is such a good story. And Ken needed a script because he had a house he wanted to make a movie in. And Martin said, let's write this movie that we've been thinking about. And we stayed up for a week all night, and we showed it to Ken, and he liked it, and then we made the movie. So and that's such a really easy road compared to what you have to go through to make a movie in Hollywood.
So real estate inspired this movie?
Pardon?
The real estate, the house, access to the house.
The real estate.
Yeah.
Because he said, I really want to make a movie in this house.
That's pretty wild. So obviously now you're touring and you do, but you also do a lot of theater stuff as well. That's another passion of yours, correct?
Serious? Me? No.
No, theater, writing.
Theater. Oh, yes, theater, because sometimes this line is fuzzy. Yes, Martin and I just wrote another play. We've written 4 plays together, and we did it at where I live, which is Laguna Playhouse, which is in California on the beach. And we did another play before that transferred off Broadway in New York. And so we keep busy. We have a new TV project that I can't talk about yet because it's still in the infant stages, but that's very exciting. And then I'm still doing my act, which I really love to do. It's so much fun.
Well,
again, I'm in the woods in Connecticut, and then tonight I'm somewhere in New Jersey. I'm not sure where because somebody has to take me because I'll never find it. And then I'm coming to Live Casino in Philadelphia, which is going to be so exciting because I love it because when you go to a casino, they'll change 100.
Yeah, they will change 100. The ATMs always give out hundreds. I'll tell you this: that room over there at the casino is a wonderful room. So you're going to have a great time.
Well, anywhere else, if you say, will you change 100, they look at you like you're a bank robber.
Yeah.
In a casino, they go, do you want it in nickels? So.
Well, the show is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and it's at Live Casino, and you can get tickets for Rita Rudner at Philadelphia.livecasinohotel.com. And you didn't need any coffee at all, Rita. You're wide awake this morning, so we thank you for being up early and giving us a call today.
Thank you very, very, very much. I'm going to go back to bed.
All right. Thank you. We love you. Thank you, Rita Rudner, guys. Take care, Rita. She's awesome.
Yeah, Gleaming the Cube.
I did not know that about Gleaming the Cube. And then what was the other movie she mentioned, Steve? I was not familiar with that. Peter, what did she say?
I remember seeing it. It was like a mainstay on cable, and it's perfect. What is the hell? And I remembered when she said it. Peter's Friends.
Peter's Friends.
So she wrote it with her husband. There's a couple of movies that she's written. I remember that getting very good reviews, too.
Yeah, okay.
As stand-up wise, a lot of times people will sort of say, not dismiss her, but the comedians who know her stuff is sharp, and it's really well written.
And her delivery is kind of like this when she's on stage, and and she just said she had her own thing.
Which was smart.
And agreed.
Yeah,
and it was. I think sharp is a good word for it. I thought her comedy was very sharp. All right. Well, listen. With the end of that interview, I would like to give something away. Then we're going to take a break. We're going to come back to B-File and a bunch of other things. But we have a screening of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
The final Guardians.
Next Wednesday. And it's going to be at 7 p.m. at the Regal Warrington. And Casey's going to be your host. How about that?
Hey.
So we'll take callers 10, 11, and 12. And we will give you pairs of tickets. 215-263-WMMR. The movie doesn't open until May 5th. And if you want another chance to win, you can text the word Galaxy to 39333, and we'll send you a link, and you might win that way as well. And if you don't win past our advanced screening, you can visit Rothman Roller Rink in Dilworth Park. Wednesday, May 3rd, 4 to 6 p.m. is a Guardians of the Galaxy themed skate that's taking place.
That's all very cool. And they're saying that this is epic and funny and touching and all the things that James Gunn and the Guardians universe has delivered so far.
Awesome. That was, to me, that was probably the biggest surprise of the Marvel universe because I had never heard of any of that crew.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and it turned out to be just one of my favorites of the bunch.
And I'll tell you what. Again, the funeral scene at the end of Guardians 2.
Oh, yeah.
Might be, for me, the most emotional moment of any of the Marvel movies.
No kidding.
That's just beautiful.
Okay. Well, let's get you on those, the tickets, 215-263-WMMR. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the Bizarre File, and then we'll have another chance of winning $1,000 and MMRBQ tickets with concert cash. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
It's like because no. What, so the 8-foot talking carpet, that's real. Relax.
I mean, it has to make sense within the context of the world.
And
but I feel like that I can stand behind.
No, it was a mother effer of a scene.
Yeah, that scene. Come on.
It was, and the effects and all. It was great.
Speaking of fans, real quick, and I know you guys all have questions. Everybody's got their hands raised here. But now, I haven't gone back and watched The Last Jedi in a little while. But is that, I think fans had a bunch of fun with the fight scene where Kylo and Rey, you know what I'm talking about? They used the different pieces of music. Did you happen to see those?
Yeah, that was really fun. Everyone started remixing it to different songs.
Oh, our own Nick Murphy, who I introduced you to, he did a whole...
he did like a dozen of them.
He did a whole album. Some funny ones and some other ones that tonally absolutely made sense.
I love it.
I think he might have even used Firework from Katy Perry.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
I totally see that.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a blast, man.
You gotta love that fans are having.
Well, that's what I mean. They take it and they make it their own. Whether it's that or fan fiction or fan art, or people just take this stuff so personally. That's what's great about it.
In A New Hope, Luke meets Leia via a hologram, and in The Last Jedi, Luke says goodbye to Leia via a hologram. Was that your idea?
Yeah, man. You got. I mean, the symmetry. You're always looking for symmetry. Wow. If you can hit that sweet spot with symmetry, so that even if you don't, the first time you watch a movie, you aren't thinking of it in those terms. When you step back and take a look at the whole thing laid out, you're like, oh, this rhymes with this, and this it bookends this. Especially with something like Star Wars, you're always searching for those things to lay in there.
Thank you for answering questions about it, because I know you're here to talk about Knives Out, and I can't wait to see that movie as well. But while we have a director of one of the Star Wars movies in the studio,
about Star Wars.
We lavish love on Knives Out as well. But I also have to ask you, Looper is an amazing film, and it also speaks to your ability to add. I remember watching that and go, wow, this is a really cool conceit. I'm thinking of it has a Harlan Ellison, Philip K. Dick sort of vibe to it. It's cool. It's jumping around. And then it gets you emotionally too, and when you're and that's something that I think when you can do that in all this stuff where you can go down one path and phone it in, and then it becomes something where it gets you viscerally with the kid and what his future will be and how things have to be right. That to me was just such an amazing. And I don't want to give it away if you've never seen it. You need to see Looper if you've never seen it. But working with Bruce Willis and working with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who you worked with in Brick as well, you start to build an ensemble of people you go to, there are people that are comfortable. Who do you consider your go-to people now?
Well, I haven't worked with him for a few movies, but Joe Gordon-Levitt is one of my good friends.
Awesome,
and he's so good, man. Yeah. He's such a good person. He's such a lovely, wonderful guy. And I managed this is The Last Jedi. He wasn't. We got him in there as a voice, alien voice.
Okay, I was
Knives
wondering.
Out. We had to get him in there as a voice too,
because
he wasn't available. So you keep your ears peeled. He's in there. So
you guys are friends.
Yeah, we're buddies.
Okay, because he's in a scene of a movie. It's one of my favorite theatrical scenes ever, and it's a movie called 500 Days of Summer.
Oh yeah,
and it's when the Hall & Oates song comes on. To me, and there's a Han Solo thing in it as well. But I would love to meet that guy. He is a good friend of yours.
He's a sweetheart, man. He is so cool.
We tell him that I love him.
Let's call him right now. Let's get him on speaker.
Whenever I hear that song, I bounce around like he does when he's walking down the street. Like I want to do what he did in that movie.
We made the very first movie I made was called Brick. It was like a weird high school noir, and he was in it
twice today. I haven't seen it.
Oh well.
Did you shoot that at the high school you went to?
I did. Yeah. I shot at San Clemente High School down in Orange County.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's got to be cool to come back with a film crew to the school that you.
It was cool, but we were really low budget. We were like micro budget with that movie.
Still.
So I think we were more annoying to them. I'm surprised that they didn't kick us out before we were done filming.
Well, Knives Out, honestly, is I cannot wait to see it. It looks phenomenal, and so I assume, have you done the full premiere route yet, or is where this is one cog in the premiere?
Well, Philly is not a cog.
I know.
This is the main engine of the whole tour.
Thank you for saying that.
We premiered at Toronto, and I just came from the Chicago Film Festival, and we're here tonight, and I'm psyched to see it with every. Like I said, man, this is this is a crowd movie. This is a crowd-pleasing movie. It's so much fun to be in the theater when a big crowd is watching this.
Love
I'm
it.
psyched
Love
for
it. Can I
tonight,
ask what the title refers to, or is it a plot point that we need to wait for?
No,
or?
it's. I mean, sort of. There are knives in it, but it's. I mean, the Radiohead song is what it kind of stuck it in my head years ago. You know, Amnesiac, I think it's on, and Knives Out. Okay. And so that phrase just always seemed like a cool turn of phrase to me. It seemed like a good murder mystery.
It always to me it always indicates.
And the knives are out.
Your knives are out. Your knives are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Somebody's got it. Yeah.
Which definitely applies to the family in this movie.
Awesome.
Can I jump in real quick? I just want to ask you because I know that you do have your fingerprint on the Breaking Bad universe, and you directed a couple of episodes of the final season.
Yeah.
I watched El Camino, and then I was like, oh, God, I got to go back and watch the final 2 seasons. So I did that, and then I watched El Camino again. So you directed Ozymandias, and I got to ask, is that the episode where Walt calls Skylar and has the phone conversation with her?
Yeah.
That is like some of the finest acting I've ever witnessed in my entire life because he is saying things to her
without saying them.
But he's also on like, so what you're hearing through the phone is what he's saying, but emotionally he's not saying those words. And like, so can you explain that better than what I just said?
No, you put it just beautifully, man.
Okay.
And Cranston, I mean, that's the explanation. It's one word. It's Cranston. That dude is just
Cranston.
So you didn't have anything to do with that?
No, man. No, honestly, you show up and you do your work as a director, which is on set to be an audience for the actor, and so you watch it. If you feel something, you say it to them. If you feel, try this, try that. The truth is, though, especially with Breaking Bad, I mean, the writing is so good. Those actors. As a director, it makes your job so easy. You can just show up on set and just like roll with it and try and maximize it.
Real quick, how many takes for that particular scene?
I don't know. I think it was freezing that night, so I don't think many. I think it was maybe 3 or 4. And then Anna Gunn, Skylar's side of the call. It's interesting because I remember with Yoda, with Mark and Frank Oz, Mark Hamill and Frank Oz.
Yeah.
Frank telling me, everyone talks about the expressiveness of the puppet and the performance of Yoda, and he said 90% of it is Mark believing, listening.
Yeah, and I can believe that. Yeah,
and it's a weird analogy, but what Anna is doing on the other side, the amount of that call where we're on her face and hearing her realize what her husband is doing, that's as much of the scene as.
Okay, and for that, was she in the next room? Was she actually on the phone with him while he was doing it, or were you doing a playback? Or?
No, we had him there, so he was. Obviously, we shot them completely separately, but then we have both, and vice versa. She was on set, kind of on the phone with him there, for his side of it, and then we were in the house shooting. It was a totally different day, but he was there for her side of it, so they were both there for each other.
Okay,
that's wild. And by the way, you should probably put some ointment on those fanboy burns you just got.
Yeah. Those could get infected.
That's all right. I'm scabbed over. It's all right. I got the scabs.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan Johnson. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Now, let's do the B5.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, so let's start with this. Smashing Pumpkins are going to kick off their Bright and Oh So Shiny reunion tour in July, and the band's Billy Corgan has now shared a proposed list of songs.
Are you doing
music news?
Son of a bitch.
That's amazing.
I was thinking,
I thought it was maybe
weird happen at the music news, or
grabbed the wrong folder.
Maybe he found a King Cobra in his car or something, or.
Look, I'm just on autopilot right now.
That's exactly what it is, right?
You're at home right now watching The Walking Dead, aren't you?
I am. I haven't seen that episode yet, damn it. Oh, man.
That was great. Thank you. Hey, just sneak preview, guys.
I love the music, though. That wouldn't be a tip-off.
It didn't even register with me at all. A man dubbed America's most wanted deadbeat dad.
Let's just call him Billy Corgan.
Has been arrested.
There were a number of missed calls in my life that actually led to opportunities, and you always have to keep your radar open to the fact that there are things in play that you haven't even seen yet that will reveal themselves to you. You just have to be receptive to it.
It all starts with this girl giving me the clap.
The clap.
That's where it started.
You were saved by a social disease.
It all starts with that.
All right, so do tell.
This girl gave me the clap. I dated her for 5 years. She was my girlfriend. She slept with my best friend. And then she gave me the clap. I remember going to the doctor, and he was like...
Hailstorm in the steeple on 93.3 WMMR. Everything that rocks. It is 9:46, and it's a Thursday morning. Preston and Steve show. A little bit cloudy through the day, but fairly mild temperature. 62, 63 degrees is what we're going up to. Now, the rain, which we got a little taste of yesterday, is going to be hitting this weekend. So what I'm looking at is tomorrow, high 58, some rain in the afternoon, and then Saturday and Sunday, I think it's just calling for rain each day. I don't know if it's like an all-day long deluge, but we do have rain and a soggy weekend forecasted.
So the word is, we need the rain.
Yeah, the word is we do need the rain. So let's get it now, and then maybe later on we won't have to worry about it. But it's going to be kind of cool and wet this weekend.
Cool like Fonzie or temperature-wise?
Like temperature-wise.
Okay.
But Yolanda knows what's cool. You'd be like three little Fonzies.
I know Yolanda.
So, question: Are we done with traffic?
We are done.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We can do the bizarre file now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by PGW, powered by PGW, actually. Improve the comfort of your home and lower energy bills with a PGW Energy Sense rebate. Up to $1,400 in savings with new home heating equipment. You can learn more at pgwenergysense.com. Story out of, this is horrifying, out of Australia. A man who hunted a random teenage girl like an animal through an Ipswich supermarket, trying to kill her with a bow and arrow, has been jailed for 10 and a half years. Benjamin Burke pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of a 15-year-old girl. This took place in 2020, but the sentencing just happened. During a sentencing hearing, prosecutor Matt Legrand told the Supreme Court that the girl suffered hand and torso injuries during a premeditated and purposeful act by Burke. She was hunted like an animal around the store, he said. Mr. Legrand told the court that the incident had taken place after Burke had decided that he wanted to end his life at the hands of authorities. He said that, I keep saying Bork, and it keeps reminding me of the Swedish chef, and I can't keep it on my head when I'm saying it. Bork. He said that Bork believed that he could achieve this by killing a stranger and causing public panic.
So the death by cop is what he was looking for.
Yeah, but he did it in a pretty weird way. There are other ways that he could have gone about this. The court heard that the 28-year-old had armed himself with a compound bow, 5 arrows, and backup weapons, including 3 small sledgehammers and 2 knives, and left his home. Dressed in all black and donning a full face mask, the court heard that Bork began walking the streets searching for a victim. And a video of his journey was playing to the court and showed him first shooting an arrow at an indigenous woman who had been jogging, but the arrow missed. The court heard that he had initially targeted her for racial reasons, but did not continue to pursue her as he thought that there would be more witnesses at the shops. His security video showed his final stop at the supermarket, where he approached the 15-year-old outside as she was locking up her bike. He removed his mask and said, "I'll let you see who I am first." And then he aimed the bow toward her face and released the arrow. The shot missed. The girl quickly retreated inside, but he chased behind her and began a persistent and protracted 4-minute attack on her. The footage from inside the store shows Bork stalking the panicked girl as she tried to run and hide from him between the aisles. It showed Bork shooting the girl 3 more times, on one occasion striking her with the arrow, going through her cell phone case, and then piercing her hand and torso. Bork continued to stalk the injured girl, this time holding one of the hammers, but he was eventually tackled and detained by bystanders and arrested by police shortly after. Isn't that
It's like
wild?
a horror movie.
Yeah, hunting her for real. So, we used to have the Bork thing.
I don't know where that is.
All right. So, yeah, he's going to jail for 10 years.
I don't care how happy-go-lucky he is in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's crazy. When Lorraine Fuller and her husband bought their Apsley, Ontario property over 15 years ago, it was brimming with wildlife thanks to the wetlands that made up their backyard. But seemingly overnight, this huge pond was drained with no animals in sight. Since it's a 100-acre lot, Fuller said that they bought an amphibious vehicle that could take them from one side of the property to the other out on the water. And he said, here we are now in April, and it's gone. All of the water is gone. The family frequently uses the property throughout the year. Fuller says that and adds that he hadn't noticed anything unusual over the winter. About 2 weeks ago, on April 8th, Fuller said their husband thought that he noticed the water level looked extremely low, but added that a half inch of snow and ice likely hid everything, so they left without investigating. They said, we went up on the 22nd to discover no water and something that appeared like a moon surface.
Could it be a sinkhole?
Well, the formerly pristine wetland was held intact by a massive beaver dam on a neighboring property that was constructed decades ago.
Wow.
She said it's probably been there for the better part of 100 years and created this pond. So the actual dam that was compromised is huge. The dam was about 8 feet high, and it now looks like about a 6-foot chunk was taken out of the dam. How it was destroyed remains a mystery. Fuller's in the process of trying to figure out what exactly happened and to try and get it rebuilt as soon as possible, adding that she's reached out to the municipality. Beaver dams are typically built to ensure a food supply and offer enough water to protect its home from potential predators. But over time, the beaver will abandon its home once the food supply has been exhausted or the beaver dies. And that may have that may have been what happened. Once the pond is drained, the area looks devastated. All the flora and fauna that was dependent on the pond is now without a home. So I didn't know that's why beavers built the dam, was to create a food source, essentially. So, there's fish and everything that they can go after, I guess.
I watched a Nat Geo special on this, and Preston, these structures are astonishing, like you just described. I mean, huge, elaborate.
Yeah. And the beaver, as long as it's there, will maintain it.
Yes.
So that's what they do. And if the beaver goes away or dies, then there's nowhere there to maintain it, and it eventually falls into disarray.
There's a fun fact for you. Most ponds and lakes are temporary. They, over the course of time, they will eventually either be drained or something like this will happen, and they will work their way down towards the ocean.
Damn! All right, let's see. Story from Spain. We had an email from somebody in Spain this morning. Andreas Canto was 14 years old when he got into a minor argument with his parents who refused to let him wear a tracksuit to go out into the local village. In retaliation...
I want to look like a 70-year-old man.
In retaliation, the teen stayed at home and picked up his grandfather's pickaxe, taking out his frustration by angrily attacking the ground in the garden. Well, 8 years on, and a small hole in the grass has turned into a large underground cave structure with steps leading down to a structure comprising of a living room and a bedroom.
So out of a fit of anger, he started building an underground, literal man cave.
Yeah. So since it's been kitted out with Wi-Fi, speakers, and a coal stove.
I want one of those.
Andreas said, in the last 2 years, I've extended the main room by lowering the ground level by another half meter. I also started to dig a new tunnel about a half meter deep to start a new room. He said, during the pandemic, I made great strides in the cave.
No doubt.
But now I have less time to spend on it. I only dedicate 4 hours a week to dig the cave.
It's a cave, dig.
It's a spacious floor plan with comfortable camping chair for chilling and a mirror on the wall for getting ready, as well as drinks to keep him energized. A couple of steps have been constructed to lead Andreas even deeper underground, where his new room will soon be dug out. The cave takes up approximately 5 square meters of the garden.
Wow.
And is 5 meters below the surface. That's fairly deep.
15 feet.
Yeah. In the rest of the garden, Andrea's family have a pond and a water fountain, though much of the space is taken up by tools and equipment. The student previously said that he had no idea what initially sparked the idea of digging a hole at his family home, but he's doing it anyway.
I've always been sort of envious of people who will live in those old missile silos or...
It seems something pretty cool about that.
We were talking about gleaming the cube earlier, and at one point there is he is in a what seemed like a bunker of some sort.
Like a bomb shelter?
Bomb shelter that was in his basement. And I saw that movie in the early 90s, and I was like, oh, I want one of those.
It's the famous Rita Rudner movie.
Yes.
Exactly. So we have about 4 minutes before we need to get the concert keyword, so we're not going to break until we do that.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I can kill a little bit of time if you guys want.
Okay.
All right.
You're the time killer.
I went to...
You're all the time killer now.
A dog. It's kind of
a bad now, dog.
A pretty decent development in my life yesterday. I went to Bucks County.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I left
Where'd you go specifically?
I left Bucks County happier than when I went in.
Are we talking potential moving plans?
No, God, no.
By the
No.
way, notice someone is absent while this admission is taking place.
Where it really hit the most.
Kathy's not here.
I needed to make sure she wasn't here when I said this. Okay. So I sent a picture to Connor, and I wanted Connor to put the picture up in the studio real quick.
Okay, we're looking at Casey, who's sitting on a tractor, a riding lawnmower with his feet up on it.
Yeah.
Did you buy that?
That's mine.
You did it.
Man.
Wow.
That's mine. I went to Paul B. Moyer and Sons, and I got a Husqvarna riding lawnmower.
You've always wanted one.
I have.
You've always wanted one.
And so I've been mowing my lawn for years and years now. And
but walking's for suckers.
Well, listen, there's a lot of it that I don't mind walking, but there are parts of my lawn that are really a pain in the ass.
Right.
And then also when it comes to July and August, especially July, it's very, very taxing. And I know a lot of people are listening and go, you pussy. So I did this. I sold my Vespa scooter.
You did?
I did.
Yes. Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, you told us a little while ago.
Yeah, I sold my Vespa scooter about a month ago.
Okay.
And I took some of that money and I bought a riding lawnmower.
May I
with
ask
it.
if they're comparable in price?
No. No.
So how, if higher or lower than what you'd pay for a Vespa?
Lower.
Okay,
Lower.
that's what I assumed. Yeah.
But I also sold my Vespa for less than what I bought it for, but I also owned it for, over a decade or whatever.
And you're a superstar, and that gives it value.
Right. So, but these guys, so Paul B. Moyer, they're clients of the radio station. There's a guy in our picture. You're looking at Jake Moyer. He's been listening to the Preston and Steve show for years and years and years. And like he was like laying brick and all. He's like, dude, we used to listen to you guys. And now he, works there. But he's like, dude, we listened all day long, like starting at like 17 years old. He
We
was out
love
there
that.
busting his ass and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome, Case.
So these guys have, they're clients of the station. And so I wanted to go up there and support and spread some love. And I also wanted to talk to somebody who I felt like I could trust. I'm like, listen, what do I need? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not sitting on acres and acres of property or whatever.
Right.
So I don't need to go overkill. So I didn't buy too much or too little.
Will you have the ability to put a blade on the front of that for snow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, are we even going to get any snow? We got zero snow this
Still take it as a win.
Yeah.
Take it as a win. And if you listen, the year we do get it, and these things are cyclical. I am thrilled with what we just went through.
Mm-hmm.
But, every bit of a possibility will get pounded next season. So,
Casey, when we lived in Phoenixville, we had a riding mower. And
did you love it?
I loved it. It was fun to drive around. There was one time where I needed to, I can't remember why, but I needed to fill up the tank. Maybe I didn't have a car at the time, or so I drove the riding mower
to the gas
station to fill it up and then came back. Believe it or not, it makes cutting the grass kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, so that's the other thing. Now, I think all three of my children will want to cut the lawn.
Yeah.
But the rule is because there's parts of the lawn that you have to cut with the push mower.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to edge it with the
edge mower.
With the edge mower. No, with the weed whacker. So listen, if you want to do this, you have to do all of it. You don't just get to have all the fun and none of the work that goes along with it. But
are you going to put a spoiler on it?
No, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I definitely want to I'm putting a bagger on it.
Rims?
No, it doesn't need rims. It comes with all. But I'm telling you, man, when Jake was giving me all like the tutorial and everything, I'm like, this thing is way more involved. Like when I was in high school, we had a riding lawnmower. It literally looked like the one that Forrest Gump rides.
Right.
And all you had to do is you turn it on and you went. This one, it's like you got to engage the blade and you got to do this. You got to make sure
turbines
the parking,
to speed.
Yeah, you got to make sure the parking brakes off and you like all sorts of stuff.
Sonic disruptors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attention.
Yeah.
Activate sonic disruptor. Lawn mowing can commence.
So I just killed enough time, and I wanted to thank Jake and Mike from Paul B. Moyer.
Congratulations.
And, thank you so much.
It's going to be a hell of a summer.
It is.
All right.
I want to see video of you.
Yeah. Oh, you will.
All right.
You will.
Let's do this.
MMR's Concert Cash. Now, here's your Concert Cash keyword.
The word is inform, INFORM, and you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter that on the contest page at WMMR.com. You can also do it at the MMR app or text it to the special contest short code number we have, 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest, and all MMR winners get 2 tickets to the MMRBQ Saturday, September 16th. Tickets for that are on sale now, and winners will get a call from Beasley, so make sure that you do answer your phone. Contest rules at WMMR.com. For MMRBQ details, text FINALLY to 39333 for a link to the information. Sponsored by Meineke. I'll give you that word again. It is Inform, INFORM, so make sure you enter that right now. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second, giving more stuff away, lesson question, trash and music news coming up next.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
This is when you thought doctors were like older. He's probably just 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's just a kid,
dude.
And he was like, she's a whore, man. And he said, I go, no, you got that wrong. He goes, let me ask you a question. When you go to a bar, do you and your junk split up to cover more territory? And I was like, excuse me? And he goes, do you? And I said, no. And he goes, then I'm telling you right now, if you're telling me you haven't slept with anyone else, just her, she gave it to you. She's a whore. She's sleeping around. That's how you get it. You just sleep around.
Yeah.
Oh
And I was like, that's impossible. I want the test. And he was like, I can just give you the medicine. You don't need the test. And I went, no, I don't. I must not have it. She's not a whore. And he's like, all right, I'll give you the test. Q-tip.
Yep.
Yes. I remember saying, brace yourself. And I held on to the thing, and he did it, and I was like, she's a whore. She's a whore. And then I went to her, and I confronted her. And I said, yo, I have the clap. You gave it to me. And she's like, no, that's impossible. And then I said what the doctor said. Let me tell you something. When I go to the bar, me and my junk don't split up to cover more territory, okay? And so, but if that girl hadn't done that, because I told that girl I wanted to be a comedian. I laid in bed the morning of the Miami-Florida State game, and I said, I think I want to be a comedian. Because right after Russia, I'd gone to Europe, and I backpacked, and I ran into a group called The State. I ran into them in Greece. Yeah. We all partied in Greece, and I met them, and I said, how do I get into comedy? And David Wayne said, just write all the time, write down jokes. Anything funny, write it down. And that whole summer, I said, I was funny traveling. Everyone liked me. Thought I could make people laugh. And I was like, I'm going to be a comedian. Came home. First week back, have sex with her, laying in bed, Florida State, Miami game. I say, I think I want to be a comedian. And she was an actress, still is. And she was like...
not somebody we would know, is it?
No.
Okay. Regional theater, stuff like that?
Yeah. And so
that's what we're calling porn these days.
And she said, she goes, oh, honey, you're stupid funny. You're not smart funny. To be a comedian, you have to be smart funny, and you're stupid funny.
Wow.
So you cannot.
And this is from the whore.
This is from the whore.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, okay. Never tell anyone your dreams. I get the clap. I then break up with her over the period of you know how those breakups go over 6 months. Yeah. And then I start dating this girl who's, by the way, I love her, but just an oblivious idiot. Yeah. Like I told her I wanted to be a comedian. She's like, you should do it. Just invest everything in it. Why wouldn't you? Right? Oh my God. And I just ran into her last week in wherever I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's like, I'm so happy you followed your dreams. And I was like, I am so glad you did not see the pitfalls in life that everyone else sees. Yeah. She was just like, do it. Why wouldn't you? I didn't want to be a shot girl. And I was like,
dream big.
Oh, she went to New York to be a model. And she's attractive, but she's not like a model.
Yeah.
But I remember
not a New York model.
And she just walked in and she's like, I want to be a model. And I was like, man, I wish everyone had more of that.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that girl to just give me blind confidence.
Yeah.
That I don't think. I mean, by the way, my first whole year of stand-up, I did not know. I was just doing all the jokes like Angry Sanchez, or I didn't have comedy. I wasn't doing comedy.
Yeah, you had little segments, but
yeah.
You know that's.
And then Will Smith discovers me, and I'm like, I'm so glad I did this. And then you move to LA, you get a TV show, and then
that's how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for not knowing about life.
And now you understand the weird science behind comedy. You know the efficiency of words and all that.
Oh yeah. I get blown away. I get blown away sometimes by just that, those little coincidences in life that send you on a path, and then you go, God, what if I hadn't done that?
When I did stand up, I learned, and I did it for about 10, 11 years, and I really enjoyed it, but I knew it was actually radio that stepped in out of the blue and became a thing that I just loved because it allowed me to do comedy in a different way. But the refining and there's a joy in that with stand up and having things fail and having if you can have fun on stage regardless. Even if something's tanking and you're enjoying. Carson was an expert at having fun with tanking.
You got to be cool with the silence.
Right.
I went up one night in the store and I was just trying to write.
Yeah.
And I was bombing and then someone just goes, talk about Anne Frank. in the audience. And then I go, I used to think Helen Keller and Anne Frank were the same person. Right. And it kills, right?
Yeah.
But I never knew. I didn't know that was funny. I thought I was an idiot. And then they laugh, and I was like, yeah, I found out the Anne Frank house, they're not. And everyone's like, what? I was like, yeah, you didn't. And I tell the story, and it's very simple. I thought they were like, you want to go to the Anne Frank house? I was like, yeah, we'll get a bag of weed and get high and we'll laugh. And they're like, laugh? I go, yeah, put a plunger in her toilet, chuck it up. And they're like, what? And they're like, I don't think you can go to her bathroom. And they're like, you can see the closet they kept her. And I was like, they kept her in a closet?
Oh, dude.
I swear to God. And they're like, yeah, the Nazis are looking for her. I go, the Nazis? You're telling me, I go, how many times did this chick roll snake eyes? Can't see, can't hear, can't talk, locked in the closet, Nazis are looking for her. And so I tell this on stage. I get off stage and Rogan's like, please tell me that's in your act. I go, no. I was like dead serious. I go, I'm being dead serious. And he goes, that is the funniest thing. He goes, are you being serious right now? I go, I'm being dead serious. He goes, when did you find out they're not the same person? I go, at the Anne Frank house. We're high as crap. I'm telling Helen Keller jokes. And I'm like, she had a dog, right? And they're like, what? I was like, to my friends, I'm like, oh, he ran away. And they're like, how do you know so much about Anne Frank? I was like, well, you would too if your name was. And this lady goes, are you telling Helen Keller jokes? And I'm like, oh my God. So then I take that story, I tell it on Comedy Central with Ari Shaffir on This Is Not Happening, and then all of a sudden you got a bit. But if you're not willing to fail or get the clap, so if you have the clap right, I think what we're saying is if you're listening and you have a venereal disease, this might be the best day of your life.
Look at it as a plus.
Success is just around the corner.
Success is just around the corner.
There's something you and your spouse you will never
don't discuss,
ever agree on, ever.
And that's not a hole in the relationship.
Right.
That's just smart. You just don't agree on some things. That's totally fine. If it's an agitation, there's an entire rest of your lives to live. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know what, my wife and I don't
whether Hulk could beat Hulkbuster.
I don't think we'll ever agree on is which way the toilet paper goes on the roll.
Yeah.
And
or whether or not you should use it.
No. We both agree that you should use it, but I put toilet paper on the right way and she doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Top down?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes over.
Does it matter? It does matter to you guys?
No,
you know what? Consider this.
No,
You're bowling it up and jamming it in your butt.
It comes off of the toilet paper roll easier.
There you go.
There you go.
Mr. Morrison.
Aesthetically.
By the way, did you guys see my notes in the bathroom this morning?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, is it still out of toilet paper?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Dude, it was out of toilet paper yesterday.
Did you do that last week?
No.
Because someone had the courtesy to put up on the door.
Yeah.
Out of TP, so I went to another bathroom.
Can you fill me in here?
I saw that. So we were out of toilet paper, and
in the men's room.
In the men's room. So I this morning I went in there and I did my business. It was a flashback to Casey when you caught me with my pants down in there.
Did you have to move stalls?
I did. I moved over to the second stall, and Kathy was out in the second stall.
Did you have to use regular?
Fortunately, it wasn't so messy that I could pull my underwear
use your
up.
shirt.
And I walked in. I used my shirt.
So I with the sink.
No, I got some paper towels.
Gaskets.
Oh, paper towels.
You had to use paper towels?
Yeah, but I
wet them.
I moistened them, so it didn't rip.
The man played it right.
And so anyhow, what I did after that is I happened to have my highlighter on me.
You put that in your butt?
No.
What is that?
I got 2 pieces of paper towel, and I wrote no PTP.
Yeah.
And set it over the toilet paper dispenser.
Awesome. Because if you go in and you see that, and you don't want someone to replicate your horrible situation. Someone actually stuck a note on the door going in last week, and I appreciate them doing that.
Fortunately, everything was a clean movement this morning. It wasn't mushy.
It was like a good cellist person has a clean movement.
Yeah. So anyhow, not every argument has a resolution.
Exactly. Getting back to the core issue.
When when you start to hit these sub-freezing temperatures, anything below 32 degrees, and then when you get down into teens and the freezing happens even faster, there's all kinds of things that you can do with the weather.
You can play with the weather.
You can play with the weather.
So one of the downside is, of course, the needless loss of life. The plus side is you can do stupid stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So we decided we'd try an experiment or two while we have these conditions.
So what's the boiling water thing?
It is very cool.
So here's what you do, and this is a few years ago. This little thing started to happen and pop up. If you take a pot of boiling water, when the temperature gets well below freezing, if you go outside, Kathy, and you throw it up in the air, it turns into snow. Like immediately.
But,
why boiling water and not cold water?
Yeah,
because it gets out. I guess because of the heat shift. Can we get our physicists back on the line?
I don't know.
Right?
I'm not sure. I didn't research it, to be honest, but there's a reason for it. So.
Yeah, and I watched a video the other day of a guy in Minnesota, and I think it was below zero where he was, and he had peed outside, and there was steam coming out.
Yes, that does happen.
Like just flat out.
In fact, maybe you'll have Nick take a dump and see what happens.
I don't know. Nick, you got one cooking?
Yeah, man. I'll do whatever you guys want.
Really?
Nick looks very uncomfortable. But Nick, should we just right out of the gate do the hot water?
I'm going to take the lid off. Max, you're going to toss it. Try not to toss it in my face. Okay.
No, wait, Nick. Before you do it, I would step away from Callie and step away a further. Step out to the lot.
Yeah, all right. So Max is going to throw it into the lot, but I'll take the lid off because Max has both hands on the pot itself. Boiling water. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready, man.
Makes sense.
All right,
watch the video. Nick is going to give the description.
2, 1. Here we go. Took the lid off. Max tosses it in there. Oh my God! Now, not all of it turned into snow, but a decent amount of it did. Also, a decent amount immediately turned into steam.
And it's so windy that it went 50 yards away in the blink of an eye.
It was down the parking lot.
It was gone.
We did get instant snow. But the wind is whipping so much that by the time Nick was done talking, it was already half a parking lot away.
It was gone.
Two things also happened. Max's foot was burnt, and the pot of water is now empty.
Oh.
Ooh. Thanks.
All right, so let's see Callie's hair now. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, another celebration at the end of the world. I know it's got some energy.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? That dude.
I love that.
He's the real deal. It is 13 minutes after 10 o'clock Thursday morning. The Preston and Steve Show. We're almost at No Sad Bro Friday.
Yeah.
So close. We had a little tease of a little party down the road. Speaking of No Sad Bro Fridays, definitely zero sad to be had when it comes to that Friday of Memorial Day weekend. We will be at Keenan's Irish Pub.
Yeah.
It is the official opening of the Jersey Shore. It's sponsored by Coors Light. North Wildwood is where we will be Friday, May 26th. An annual event. It'll be an 18th live broadcast from there. And it will be the 25th year celebration of the Preston and Steve Show. So we hope that you'll be there for a little anniversary celebration.
I have to imagine the Pope will be coming in for that.
Maybe. We'll see if he's interested. We'll certainly extend
we created
the invitation.
Pope Bot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So listen to our show each Friday leading up to the event. We'll have a chance for you to win some goodies. Today we gave away some VIP passes, cut the line passes, a booth, a special table, bucket of Coors Light, case of Coors Light. You can click events at WMMR.com for complete details. And it's from Coors Light, made to chill at the Jersey Shore. Please enjoy Coors Light responsibly.
You're going to have a hell of a story on that.
I know, we will. So make sure that you note that on your calendar. Friday, May 26th is when the broadcast and party takes place. All right, so we're going to do today's lesson question, and we are going to give away a pair of tickets to the 2023 Ardmore Outdoor Spring Beer Festival, which is going to be Saturday, May 13th. And the question that I'll ask is this. I like this. After suspected Haiti gang members were stoned and then set on fire, the crowd relaxed with which refreshing beverages? 215-263 WMMR. After the suspected Haiti gang members were stoned and then set on fire, the crowd relaxed with which refreshing beverages? It was uttered a little bit after 8 o'clock this morning. And if you heard it and you remember it, you know the answer, call now, 215-263 WMMR.
The trash business is a gold mine.
93.3 WMMR.
with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Rita's Water Ice. Rita's is freezing up the flavor for your next coffee fix with their new cold brew frozen coffee. And you can sink your straw into the perfect pick-me-up with 3 great flavors, mocha, caramel, and cold brew. So get yours today. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, troubled former Drake and Josh star Drake Bell claiming that internet trolls are literally going to kill him. Bell later clarified the statement, saying he was speaking figuratively when he said literally and was literally figurative.
Oh my God.
73-year-old American Idol judge and music legend Lionel Richie says he's confident that his daughter Sophia's new husband, Elliot Grange, is not the controlling type. Said Lionel, quote, Elliot is so spineless that his shoulders rest on his ass.
Hey!
And finally, Paris Hilton announcing she's kicking off her music career again with a live concert event on June 7th in Los Angeles. Hilton says that people have been begging her, but she's going to do it anyway. Yeah. And that's your Hollywood Track.
All righty, we'll see if we can find the answer to this. After the suspected Haiti gang members were stoned and then set on fire, the crowd relaxed with which refreshing beverages? 215-263 WMMR. Jay is the guy who's going to take a shot at it. Hey, Jay. Morning, bud.
How you doing?
Good, man. All right. So after the suspected Haiti gang members were stoned and then set on fire, the crowd relaxed with which refreshing beverages?
Mojitos.
Mojitos. That's correct, Jay. Hang on, bud. We're going to set you up. Got a pair of tickets for the 2023 Ardmore Outdoor Spring Beer Festival, Saturday, May 13th at Shuffle Plaza. And you can enjoy live music and 50-plus craft brews, 21 drink, all ages to hang. Tickets are on sale now. VIP packages include an hour pre-fest indoors at Ardmore Music Hall, and it's hosted by Pierre Robert. And tickets and giveaways for the Hooters sold-out shows that weekend as well. Text BeerFest to 39333, and we'll send you a link to all the information.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by Shock IT. Unfortunately, it's not a question of if your business will be hit by cyber attack. It's a question of when. Be prepared by protecting your business with ShockIT.com. That's ShockIT.com. We'll start with this. We'll start with this. U2. U2 has added 7 new dates onto the upcoming U2 UV Achtung Baby Live at the Sphere in Vegas. The newly added dates are October 11th, 13th, 14th, 18th, 20th, 21st, and 25th. For verified fan pre-sale info, you can check out Ticketmaster.com. And The Edge spoke about their upcoming Vegas in a Vegas stand in a statement, which said the beauty of Sphere is not only the groundbreaking technology that will make it so unique, with the world's most advanced audio system integrated into a structure which is designed with sound quality as a priority. It's also the possibilities around immersive experience in real and imaginary landscapes. In short, it's a canvas of an unparalleled scale, an image resolution, and a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
The hell are you talking about?
Wow. We all thought about it and decided that we'd be mad not to accept the invitation.
I can't wait to see what they do with this place, because it does look very cool.
I'm intrigued what they can do with that globe-shaped venue. It should be pretty wild. Chester Bennington, his son, 21-year-old Draven, has released a debut single. Excuse me. It's called F With Me. And he's using a moniker which is pronounced Reverend. RVRND is how that's spelled, all capital letters. The track, which is featured in Paramount Plus's new music docuseries Family Legacy, was mixed and mastered by Jay Baumgardner, who worked with Chester on both Linkin Park and Gray Days. Reverend will release its debut EP in August, by the way. The ears of Van Halen fans have perked up after Michael Anthony revealed that the vault doors to the band's archives are slowly being opened. Anthony said there's a movement, and we're digging back in the stuff. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff that Ed's 5150 studio has. A lot of stuff. Wolfie and Alex will start going through there, seeing what there is, and there's a ton of stuff. He said we are starting a bunch of the reissue stuff with the Sammy years, with all his albums. And the first one that'll come out will be Right Here, Right Now, the live album that we did in 1992. Hopefully, we'll be following up doing Roth stuff too. Who knows? Regarding live soundboard recordings, Michael Anthony admitted, we used to record every single show. That was just for the band so that we could critique ourselves after every show. And this went on for a few years. Like the first few tours, we would record almost every show. And he added that he has tapes in his collection that are, quote, almost album quality. So there's a lot.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of good stuff. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. And then finally, Freddie Mercury's former girlfriend and lifelong friend, Mary Austin, is auctioning off around 1,500 items from the late Queen singer's London home.
So as depicted in the movie, right, his lifelong friend.
That's correct. He died in 1991 and had left his house and its contents to Austin in his will. The items in the auction, which will take place in September, are expected to sell for an approximate $7.4 million. It'll probably be way more than that.
Oh, God, yeah.
The auction items will be displayed around the world in the coming months. Mary said, for many years now, I have had the joy and privilege of living surrounded by all the wonderful things that Freddie sought out and so loved. But the years have passed, and the time has come for me to take the difficult decision to close this very special chapter in my life. Freddie was an incredible and intelligent collector who showed us that there is beauty and fun and conversation to be found in everything. I hope the upcoming events will be an opportunity to share all the many facets of Freddie, both public and private, and for the world to understand more about and celebrate his unique and beautiful spirit. Sotheby's, the show, it says the showings will take place between June and September. New York, June 1st to the 8th, LA, 14th to the 18th, and then they'll go to Hong Kong and London after that.
Interesting.
Yep.
I would be curious to see what that stuff yields.
Yeah, and what items there are.
Yeah.
There's got to be some really interesting things. All right, and that is all that I have in music news for you. We have a final break we're going to take. We'll come back in a second. We will bring you up to speed on the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize, and we'll get the hell out of here and let Pierre do his magic. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
This weekend.
We don't want her to freeze to the thing, right?
She's still not laying down.
At this point, I'll take it.
Well,
Yeah, anything.
yeah, I mean, her hair is frozen solid, guys.
All right.
It's not sticking up like we saw in some of those hot tub photos.
Yeah.
Where people, but I mean, like it's coated with hairspray and it is completely frozen solid.
All right, because she's got very
Oh, wow,
thick
yeah.
hair, so to get that sucker to freeze up the way we want it to would be a lot of work. But you can see
Yeah.
the tips. It looks like icicles.
Wow. Okay, so we've learned that water
freezes in cold.
Freezes in cold temperatures.
Yeah.
All right.
And that if someone's hair is wet with that same type of water, it will freeze in cold temperatures. Then we're looking at Callie here. I just don't want her to freeze to the. Make sure she moves a little bit.
Yeah, we can. How long has she been out there? Anybody know?
She's going to look like Wendy O. Williams. What was that?
About 5 minutes.
The punk rocker?
Yeah, about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
All right.
Can she move her head so we can see if it's frozen?
There we go.
Yeah, all right, we have frozen hair.
Yeah.
It's sticking straight out.
No, that's cool. We got it.
All right.
It actually looks like, what does that look? It looks like the when Maleficent turned the forest dead.
Yes. Oh, like all those
All those
branches. and
branches,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that. Bill calling us?
Yeah.
Okay, Bill's calling us.
Bill's not wearing gloves.
Hang on, let me go to him.
Did he come in on his motorcycle?
No, he is. He just took one glove.
Why does he have a chafing dish?
There's no way he came in on his motorcycle. Bill Weston, man about town, are you there?
Good morning, my warm-feathered friend.
Hey, so first of all, what do you have in the crook of your arm there? Are those peppermints?
They're peppermints that my wife went to like Costco and got like the 30-gallon size.
Yeah.
Realized that she only needed a dozen for her candy dish. And she said, well, why don't you take the rest into work? I said, that's really economically wise.
All right, fair enough. And so what did you want to, you wanted to jump in on this frozen hair thing, I guess, huh?
Well, I see an intern out here freezing her tail off and with no hat on.
Yeah.
You know, your mother always said, don't leave the house without your hat and gloves.
Yeah.
And zip up your coat. And so I said, I hope you get extra credit for your internship program for this. She says, no, there's no credit for this. So, Marissa, we need to have a little chat.
Well, Bill, can you just actually go over and just have her raise her head? Because I think her hair's probably properly frozen now.
Yeah, let's check on the hair.
Hold on just a second.
All right.
All right.
We just don't want her to freeze to this building.
Oh, yes. We've got some nice...
All right, that's cool.
That's it.
She's good.
It's frozen solid.
Have her come in.
And it's rigid. It's sticking straight out.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, how long are your pubes?
Oh, Jesus.
I just, that's my favorite question. When Casey asked if they were gray.
Casey asked if they were gray.
Hey, Bill, you can tell her to come in, Bill.
Yeah, you guys can come in. We want to see this.
Hold on, Marissa has something. Marissa?
Just want to say this is Callie's last week, so this is like her last
There you go. We love Callie.
Yeah.
All right. Don't want to get me in trouble.
All right, Bill, you and Callie can come inside. A Volvo that was owned by David Bowie was auctioned off for approximately $218,000 in Switzerland. His Volvo 262C was one of the last of that line produced in 1981, and it was delivered to his Swiss home in June of that year. The car was initially registered under Bowie's own name, David Robert Jones, before transferring over to the record company Bellway Brothers.
This is the beginning of Philly Loves Bowie Week is today.
Can you do a commercial for the Chili Dogs place?
No, that was Cinderella.
Cinderella. Yeah. Pat's Chili Dogs.
Chili Dogs.
Ground control to chili dogs. Hi, I'm David Bowie with a passionate message about any fan who loves a good chili dog.
How'd you get Bowie to do this?
Well, he was in town.
Well, look who it is.
Yeah, hi. Bing, I'm here to tell you about the best chili dog I've ever had.
Sounds great. Do tell.
It's Pat's Chili Dogs.
How did they get him in the first place?
If you like a chili dog, bum.
Where is it?
I don't know. But anyhow, he definitely
Do you like a good chili dog.
he definitely owned a Volvo, and that's.
Oh no, I've got chili all over my Volvo.
Pat's Chili Dogs is a We Buy Gold place now.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyhow, David Bowie.
Do you have extra gold you'd like to make some money off of?
All right, and then finally, what?
What?
Oh, there you go.
I'm David Bowie. I just had an otherworldly experience. As Major Tom, I took you into space, but now it's time to explore your belly.
Okay.
Introducing my new character, Ziggy Chili Dog.
Did he have Diamond Dogs?
Chili Dogs.
Was that what his album was? Diamond Dogs?
Was it?
The new one's called Chili Dogs.
How bizarre would it be just out of nowhere?
He just becomes enamored of chili dogs.
That he is all of a sudden he is a proponent of chili dogs. Oh, this is Diamond Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, Diamond Dogs.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the news that Khloe Kardashian is pregnant? You may have heard that, right?
Yeah. She was on Ellen, right?
She made the announcement, of course, a little while back. She may be head over heels in love with her boyfriend, NBA star Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, head over heels.
But the revenge body star has no desire to get hitched anytime soon. She told Ellen DeGeneres in the first TV interview since announcing the pregnancy that we're not in any rush for that.
We're in no rush to get married.
She added, as you know, I've rushed quite a few things before.
And I've made some mistakes, and I regret those mistakes.
Referencing her marriage to Lamar Odom after knowing him for 30 days. I forgot
wow.
that's how quickly that happened, yeah.
It was just 30 days.
Oh, my God. Look at this picture.
Yeah.
She does look like a
It looks
giant.
like, it looks like a scene from Pacific Rim.
And
She's a
listen,
kaiju.
not fat.
No.
She's just a tall person.
I love you, Ellen.
Do they have her stats on Wiki, like how tall she is?
6'9".
So, Nick, type in how tall is...
I think she's 5'11".
But like, even in their
Khloe
family
Kardashian.
pictures, I don't think she's towering over the rest of them.
No, she's bigger.
I don't know how tall...
It's because OJ's her father.
Ellen is either.
She's 5'10".
5'10".
There we
That
go.
would make Ellen like 3'11".
Yeah, because that's how tall my wife is. She's 5'10".
Yeah, that's not like
5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that range.
bare range.
But I think the other ones are just, everybody else is just tiny.
Tiny?
Yeah. So anyhow, as you know, she said I rushed into quite a few things before. Right now, I'm so loving the place I'm in and very happy with how things are. We talk about it for sure. What's meant to be will be.
I just love spending time now foraging through garbage cans. It's really a zen thing for me. Ellen.
Kardashian adds that she knows her 26-year-old beau is a good dad after watching him parent his 1-year-old son, Prince, in a previous relationship.
Okay. That's the tip-off.
She said, he's such a good dad. He's so great just during pregnancy, and he makes me more excited, too. I'm excited. That's unbelievable that he has just a 1-year-old and has moved on.
He's a great dad.
He's fathering another one over here. And
did he bring Khloe to the birth, Preston? Did you say that?
That's a good question.
Exemplary
To the first
dad?
baby? Yeah.
Sweetie, I'd like you to meet my girlfriend.
How long is her gestation period? Do we know?
I don't know because
2 years.
There's a hibernation thing, right?
You guys are mean.
The one thing is that the baby can immediately forage for itself when it comes out.
There is a picture here of the 4 girls, and she is significantly taller.
Significantly. I'm a little bigger. And you know they're wearing heels, Kathy.
Yeah.
When she gets into her laughing fit, man,
she's so
watch
Can't
out.
stop. It's a runaway train. Her gynecologist actually zip lines it. It's crazy. Okay, everything looks pretty good. Is that a stalagmite? What is that? Oh my God. One-eyed Willie.
Chester Copperpot.
There's an entire pirate ship in here. Hey, you remember when we fought that octopus? Oh, that was in the edited scene.
Yeah, they took that out of the movie. WMMR and Run Around. Nice way to end the program. We'll sing along song 10:32 Thursday morning. And a fruitful morning at that. We had announcements. We gave lots of stuff away. And just moving into a weekend, which is always a beautiful sensation. As we are wrapping for the day, though, we have some breaking news.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
People always die at the end of the show.
I
You
know.
notice that? Jerry Springer died. That's sad to hear.
Absolutely.
Jerry Springer, 79 years old, and initial reports say it was a brief illness. There's maybe some anonymous sources or maybe family sources say that it could have been pancreatic cancer, which is terrible to hear. But you got to believe at a funeral for Jerry Springer,
You have to do this.
you would have to hear this. And can you imagine if they had some kind of open service where people from the show of years past showed up for that? That could be one hell of a funeral.
It'd be astonishing if you did sort of have him lying in state and allow people to, progress past the coffin.
Maybe have a fight for old times' sake or
Everything, throw a
something
chair.
like that. Steve Wilkos could show up and toss
Right.
people out.
He's got his own show now, and you have the was doing a judge show himself.
Well, that's sad. We talked to him several times throughout the years. It's always a great conversation. And you know what? As big of a train wreck as that show was, I did always enjoy his final thoughts.
Yeah, which was sort of meant to sort of validate the carnage that went before it.
Yeah, and it was, like, really, dude, you're saying that after that just happened?
But hug each other and remember that.
Yeah.
You love each other.
Yeah, be good to yourself and each other was the tagline.
Nothing is
coming out
worth
of that.
fighting about.
All right.
He was in studio twice. I remember he danced with Kathy. It was right after his Dancing with the Stars.
Now that I don't remember.
Yeah, and
wow.
He was also in Chicago. Remember, he had a run.
Oh.
Yeah, he had he did it's kind of the celebrity thing to do is be in the cast of Chicago. And he did it for him.
Yeah.
Chicago!
I'll never forget. It was like the same within a week or two that Brian May was in our studio and Jerry Springer. And when Brian May was here, there was only 1 or 2 people that came by. It was like Sean from Now at the Keswick, and maybe like Rockstar Rob. And then when Jerry Springer was here, the entire radio station was down here. We had a packed studio.
We have a man who has been knighted now and is one of the all-time greats in the world of rock music, and everybody wanted to see Jerry Springer. Well, that's sad news. That's sad news to pass along. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. Real quick, though, I would like to thank Scott Keenan for coming by.
Yeah.
Keenan's Irish Pub in North Wildwood will be the place to be Friday, May 26th, as our official opening of the Jersey Shore party and our 25th anniversary celebration is taking place. And we hope that you will be there. And it's sponsored by Coors Light. And you can find the information on events at WMMR.com. Thanks to Anthony Gargano. NFL draft night tonight. Pierre's night, baby.
Oh, my God.
And he was here to talk about all that good stuff. And he even, admits what a circus it's become. But you can catch him on The Fanatic as well. And Rita Rudner was on the show, too. Rita is at the Event Center at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia tomorrow night. Tickets are available, and you can go to philadelphia.livecasinohotel.com to get those. And, yes, Pierre is indeed here. Hey, man.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I have a traffic piece of information.
Okay.
For those heading westbound on the Schuylkill towards King of Prussia, it's massively backed up.
Oh, no.
So if you can avoid getting on that, going that way.
Why not?
Is that the way you have to go?
Yeah,
of course.
And I got to go to King of Prussia.
And I'm really tired.
There was some kind of accident somewhere around Gladwin, and like 2 or 3 police cars were looked like they were blocking all the lanes. Now, I'm not the official traffic reporter.
No.
But it was solidly backed up well beyond Ballackinwood going towards the city. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Just passing that piece of trivia
Thank you.
on.
No.
My pleasure.
News you can use.
Information.
Go back roads.
Yeah.
Or hike.
Ooh.
This text that came in says that 76 West is closed at Lawnmower 336 Pierre. So we'll dig into it.
We got a scoop on that.
Yeah.
There were 2 police cars blocking at least both of the lanes. And I thought I saw smoke rising, but you couldn't see everything with the dividers between. So just be on the lookout.
All right. Good news, or not good news, but good to know that news.
Good that I brought the news.
Thank you. All right. Letter of the day. Here we go, ma'am.
Okay.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right. The Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by the letter
Z, as in Zappa Zappa Cool.
A Z? We haven't had one of those in a while. All right. 4-pack of 3-day weekend tickets and meet and greet with Papa Roach at the Bamboozle Festival, May 5th through the 7th at Bader Field in Atlantic City. Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Motionless in White, and 60 more bands. For tickets and information, go to bamboozlefestival.com. We'll give that away tomorrow, which is pretty awesome. What's coming up today, man? What are you laughing at?
60 bands.
I know.
Can you imagine watching all 60 and someone will?
Yeah.
That's a lot of bands.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. On the program today, we have many things. We've got Concert Cash at noon and 3 p.m. I've got a new song from Graham Nash that I want to play, which we will do before noon. We also have a conversation later this afternoon in the 2 o'clock hour with STP's Robert DeLeo, the bass player, and one of the primary songwriters. He has a solo album out called Lessons Learned. Also, we will have workforce blocks of Pearl Jam and the B-52s for Kate Pearson's birthday today, and Kiss for Ace Frehley's birthday.
Awesome. All right. Let me thank the sponsors of this program. Preston and Steve Show has been brought to you today by Duncan. Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by the trusted experts since 1939. A.D. Moyer Lumber, your professional source for decks, windows, doors, kitchens, millwork, and more. You can visit them on the web at admoyer.com. Tomorrow, a No Sad Bro Friday. Michael Rappaport stopping by, and Joe Matarese will be here too. So a couple of fun guys will be joining us, and we'll give some more stuff away, and you know the drill. That's it. We're done. Rage on, and have a great day. See you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.